Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Algonquin Nation. Please stand for the national anthem. Okay, we're here today to do our budget meeting. And our first thing is approval of the agenda. And that's moved by Susan Irwin, seconded by Bill Everett, that the agenda for the special meeting of council to be held December the 4th, 2025 be approved as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Is there any disclosure pecuniary interest in general nature thereof any item today's agenda? And Duncan, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I have a conflict of interest on Budget Amendment 2026-22, which is fob systems at all major buildings, as I've installed these systems for the township in the past.
Okay, all right. And you'll remind us when we get to that. Nikki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will declare conflict on Amendment 2026-14, the Salt Dome.
Oh, because you're right close to it.
Yes, because of my location. We'll get to a forum. Thank you.
All right. Any other declarations? Okay, if not, I'm just going to talk a little bit before we get into Michael's presentation. Again, this is a whole new thing for us because this is the Strong Mayor's Budget program, I guess. I sat with all the department heads over a number of days. Probably we've put in about 30 hours on the agenda, going over things, saying, what do you have to have? What can you live without? And getting it down to roughly 5.5%. So that's where we're coming to you with, and you've all got copies of everything and submitted your suggestions. So what we're going to do today, since this is a new system, how we're going to do this is we're going to speak to each amendment, and then we're going to take a straw vote on that amendment as to whether or not that's something we should look at putting in as a solid amendment. And then what happens, I guess, is I can veto the ones that I don't feel are proper or that should go in. When I do the veto, then that's voted on, and it has to be 2/3 of council to agree to not put that in the budget. Now, that's my understanding of how it works. It sounds complicated. I would really like us all to agree on what goes in and what goes out, because I would prefer not to have to veto anything, but if I have to, I will. So with that, I'll turn it over to Michael,
If I can
the
just add,
numbers man.
if I can just add that to that, Madam Mayor, if the mayor does veto anything, we will have another meeting on December 16th to take those votes that are.
So there's
maybe
how you
needed.
avoid a meeting, it's agreed. All right, so where do we start?
Okay, well, we'll start with my highlights that I've written down. Thank you, everybody, sincerely for coming, council and staff. It is a lot of work that goes into it every year. As I've said, and you'll probably hear me say again today, it is the most depressing time of the year, and it sucks because it's at Christmas. I appreciate getting the amendments ahead of time from staff, or council rather, sorry, and getting the questions as well. since I'm talking, I will just let council know that one of the cuts that we did was $150,000 for approximately half of a financial software that will be implemented in, probably have to be in 2027, 2028 the very latest. And that's $250,000 to $300,000 bill. So yeah, that was unfortunate.
So you cut that yourself?
We've already cut that. Yes, that was part of just, how do we get down to what the mayor directed us to? And that was one of the ones that goes, okay, we can do that. I just want to make council aware that that's going to be a big bill following year.
But you cut to that in order for us to get to the 5.5%?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In terms of what we sent out, I feel happier with the budget in terms of feel like we're living more within our means. Every year we've kind of, I'm going to say robbed Peter to pay Paul. We've pulled from reserves. We haven't maybe replenished them as much as we would like to. So we've gone, and as you'll see, we go through that from a 1.5 pull to a 300 approximately put in. So definitely feel better about that. And as the mayor said, we were presenting a 5.5% levy increase right now. If we put all the council amendments in that councillors have suggested, it would be about 8.5% levy increase. So just to keep that in mind as we run through it. So I guess I will start sharing.
I don't know what to look at, up there or here.
Open to this one, see as we go through. So now that is sharing that screen. So that's this one, right, Chris? Okay, good. Just want to make sure because I have another one up for notes, just in case council is wondering why I'm asking that question. Thank you, Aaron. So as council already knows, it's a 5.5% levy increase, $591,000. And I won't spend a whole lot of time in this presentation unless anybody has questions, because sending it out early, I like that as a person, I can digest that a little bit slower and not having to listen to Michael blab quickly. So we did get a survey out, maybe not as quick as I would have liked. So I'll stick a reminder for next year. We did have a lot more responses than last year, which was very promising. Obviously, the top three choices were all in public works. Majority of residents wanted to maintain or increase service levels, which nobody likes a tax increase, but I think most of us can understand it. And what's that reasonable amount that we need to come to? So again, just a different summary of the slide by departments, where everything's sitting right now, where the increases are and the decreases, and obviously the biggest decrease is in public works, a big cut of capital projects. So the draft operating budget, even with the new positions that are in there, is a 3.4% decrease, which I think is pretty impressive. And maybe since that pops in my head, I did want to comment that sitting through this with the mayor was a very thorough process, and I would almost even say more so than a normal council process that we've done in the past, because it was grilling. So thank you.
My hair's gray.
Yeah. The capital budget is an increase, but that's mostly because of that transition from pulling from reserves a big amount to putting into reserves, which at least is going in the right direction. And I guess I'm hoping that next year we could then put more into reserves. And obviously throughout the year, and you've probably heard me say it before as well, that hopefully I can bring a reserve policy and we can get things nailed down as to an official direction of where we want to go. Estimated total assessment increase of 1.2%, which would give us another $128,000. So of that 5.5, 4.3 of it would be on the backs of existing taxpayers. And about the same as last year, I believe a 1% levy increase would be $110,000 in additional taxes. Bank interest, we did decrease. I think in one of the council amendments, I've got it increasing to offset the Silver Lake Village that Councillor Gowdy pointed out to me that I missed. So thank you very much for that. So that wouldn't be as dropping as much, but very thankful to OMPF for the increase of the money. OCIF decreased. I can understand that as well, but at least the net impact is a positive. Gas tax is 160. Sorry, I was thinking I didn't know that, but there is no change from 2025. And the 160 is what we get direct, obviously, and the 158 is what we get through the county. So it's a net increase of 2.2 through. Yeah, I don't think it's ever changed, honestly. Building permits decreased by 60,000 just to get us closer to expected actuals. And with the vendor supplier responsibility for recycling We didn't budget any money last year, not knowing where that was going, but based on actuals coming in, we've increased that by 82,000. And very happy to say that the county has contributed 100,000 to the Sharp Lake Washroom project. I think I look forward to that coming in. Operations, just a few highlights. Fuel down, heating's down, insurance is down, vehicle repairs are up, sand and salt is down, and telephone and internet is down as well. Normally, I've taken like a 2-3% increase every year because I feel like it's going to go up, but over the cumulative over the years, I know that adds up. So I did like a 1% increase this year and to bring it a little bit closer to actuals. Contracts are up 55,000, mostly in cemetery. And we'll see that because I think we had to renew one contract for digging and then there was an outside maintenance. So that's a big reason for that increase to 75,000. Policing, I know there's a few emails going around. We have not received official word as to what that dollar amount is, but it's supposed to be capped at 11%. So that's why I've put that in the budget. Cemeteries, again, 25,000 increase. Winter control, there is a decrease, and that one always makes me nervous.
Especially since it started in November.
This year, yes, and it's a huge unknown, and we can use a reason anytime, but it really is. So garbage pickups is decreased. Animal control, obviously, we decreased, bringing that in house, and then miscellaneous contracts inside and outside. I just had to sum that up time wise. Conservation authorities have increased and the Frontenac community arena has decreased. Salary and benefits, obviously there's an increase of 354 and Councillor McGregor, thank you for that point. So salary and benefits, the consumer price index it's not just the consumer price index that's 1.7%, it's the steps. If anybody's eligible for a step is also included in that. So that's been adjusted for future presentations. The new positions, as council is well aware, building administration for a full year, executive assistant to the CEO for 7 months, asset management procurement specialist for 7 months, and then of course the benefits that you really have no control over, 72 for CPP, EI, OMERS, EHT, health and dental, which did go down this year, and WSIB.
Michael, can we have questions along? the way?
Absolutely, yes. I was just told to slow down anyway, so that's good.
Oh,
Mom helped me.
How often do we go out to market on our benefits, like LTD and the health benefits and stuff?
So through Round Mayor, I'm looking want to look that way, but through Round Mayor to Councillor Gowdy, the quickest answer is as often as we feel that we need to. This year, obviously, we have a benefit. We have an excellent broker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Bryce's BCP benefits or BP benefits. Sorry, Bryce. Yeah. They're the best benefit company, Manulife, that I've dealt with from administration side. I've had one call where I've kind of been a little off when I got off the call, but every other one has been great. So in terms of customer service, I don't want to switch. There's enough other things that we have to deal with that I wouldn't want to. But if the price goes up, like I say 4 or 5 years ago, we made the adjustment where we had more personal pay on it. I think I'd rather make adjustment like that before I would switch companies. But we also lean on the advice of our broker to, if he thinks we need to go out and market, we should. But like we'll talk about later this year or whatever. Sometimes it's not as effective going out to market, and it's a lot of work, right? Everybody can appreciate that. But if we feel it's worth it, honestly, we would.
okay.
They need to earn their business too. So thank you for the question. Capital budget highlights. Net of revenue increase of 891. Again, that's mostly because of the transfer to reserve switch. Projects that we're carrying over is Olden Hall and Sharp Lake Washroom. And as you'll see in the council amendment, it's going to be the Godfrey Salt Dome as well, the smaller one. And capital projects, again, have decreased by almost 1.5 million, which to me is living more within our means. Summary of adjustments at a high level, you can see the $5.8 million that the mayor cut on us. And to be honest, there's a little bit more than that because the first day was a timing issue between me switching from the department submission version to the mayor, department head team review and the mayor's budget. So we just kind of left that for a day. So there was a cuts that we did that day as well. So it's probably closer to 7 million.
And we were still speaking when we were done.
We were. I was about to get the gloves out, but no.
You knew better.
I knew better. I'd be beaten, even with my black belt. So asset management plan, obviously this came to council this year. It's another depressing picture that we have an annual infrastructure deficit gap of over $4 million. And those are the tools that we use to deliver the services to the residents. I mean, obviously, salary and positions are assets as well, but these are the capital assets that I think we're doing a good job at keeping things sort of at bay, but we need to keep the foot on the pedal. I can say it that way.
Duncan,
So I was a little confused at this chart. Now I've seen it again. So like when we look at vehicles, for example, it says annual capital requirements are 740,000, but we're putting only 214 in, right? Which leaves us with the deficit. But when then you look at the capital budget, we're buying like a new plow truck and a
Right.
grader. So they're not included in that number.
So that would be and I'm just going off the cuff thinking about this, and thank you for the question through Mayor to Councillor McGregor. That to me, that would be the annual capital requirement. So some years you're going to be at 3 million, some years you're going to be at nothing, right? Like it's the timing of when those come up. It's something I can look into a little bit more, but yeah, I don't have a better answer than that. Other than I know they took the funding that we're putting in overall and they divvied it up to where I thought it should be, but I would have to look into that
would
further.
some of it not be in the roads network?
No, it should be, all the vehicles should be in there. The fleet, fire trucks, public works trucks and whatnot, I wouldn't, now, if you're talking grader or whatever, that would be under machinery and equipment. So it's just like, but you're saying that like tandem truck, yeah, it's 450 a year. Again, I could spit out that 10-year plan and citywide and see, I know it did fluctuate when Steve and I looked at it and it was like 1.2 million and then nothing.
So over 10 years, we're short, but this year, as an example, we might be over. Like
Yes.
we might be meeting our
Yeah.
asset. Okay.
Yeah, so we should be putting, if ideally, $740,000 aside a year, and then pulling as we needed it. And some years we'd pull $1, $5 million it feels like, but a little bit, and other years we'd pull more. Yeah. So I like this one because it to me it just simplifies all those different lines that you guys see, showing that our total revenue is down 2.6 and our total expenses are down 2.0. Again, highlighting the transfer from reserves is taking a $2.3 million swing, and the transfer, I'm trying to find the line, transfer to reserves is going down by 553,000. So we're still trying to put more, similar amount in, but less, but we're pulling a lot less. So again, to get down to the 591 or 5.5% increase. So just a little bit more detail again, about a $1.8 million swing to last year. Discretionary reserves, I know I suggested based on Councillor Irwin's question that we should be at about 4.4 million. I do think we will probably be at 4.7, but as you can appreciate, there's so many different variables going on. Like, is the 2024 tandem truck actually going to come in? Godfrey Garage or Salt Dome now we know is not. So, I mean, there's always those different variances, but I believe it will be over the $4 million. And since we're kind of talking there, I do believe that 2025 will have a surplus, but I don't have an estimated value yet. There's still, at least just going from last year, still 1.5 million at least in invoices to come in yet for this year. So just wanted to highlight also the internal fire and public works loans being paid back with the interest component. So we're paying ourselves versus somebody else. And yeah, I'll just read that last line just as a reminder to us all that reserves are mainly to fund our capital asset purchases, to borrow from internally, and or to cover emergencies. So that's just a snapshot of where our reserves were at on November 13th. Obviously, the working fund and contingencies is a negative because I have not done the journal entry yet for the properties that we've sold so far to replenish, and that will, I believe, to almost take care of that. There was something else that was popping in my mind I wanted to say.
It'll come back later.
Yeah, I hope so. Snapshot of our debt, total external loans as of November 17th, 1.3 million with payments of 257 per year or 13% of our borrowing capacity. I believe that when it went around a number of years ago that the suggested amount was around 25%. So that would leave you a 25% room if a grant came in or the bridge fell down on the causeway. It'd be kind of a bad one. Total external and internal loans as of that date is 2.2 million. So taking into account the reality of we did borrow from ourselves, and then just a little bit of history in terms of payments. And I feel like I can breathe easier at 1.5 in 2024 than I could have at 3.4 in December 2021. So at least we're going in the right direction. This one I like, and I'll give credit to Aaron here. In terms of last year, you would have seen a 2025 property taxes per household. But the vacant properties are paying taxes too. So when you sit there and take that into account, I really like this in terms of public works. So anything related, the waste sites, the roads, which are extremely important, we're paying $2.50 per day. 57 cents, sorry. But sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too, going to any coffee shop and buying a coffee and not even thinking about it. You know, and obviously the other departments are in there too that we rely on, the police, the fire, corporate services, facilities. You know, it just puts in reality as to what we're paying per day. And then the total of that we're paying per day is $5. I challenge anybody to think of something you spend less on each day. So I think that's
If I stay home, I don't spend any money.
oh no, I used to say that, but the internet's you know,
You can shop now.
yeah. So I will close that. And stop.
Any questions or comments?
That's
Don't forget your mic.
Any questions or comments on that, all of that stuff? That's a lot of information, but we've had it and we've gone through it. Cindy, do you have any questions online?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, all right. So where do we start now?
I'm just bringing up the council amendments,
Okay.
Madam Mayor, and then we can go into that if that's all right.
So we'll figure out as we go through this, how best to do it. If everybody's good with
Okay,
that.
so maybe
Those are gonna have to be a lot
Maybe
bigger.
Gone to get you a form.
It's, I didn't realize till I thought of it.
For sure, she's just gone to get one for you.
yeah,
Sorry.
or even with 202601, Carrie, whatever.
Can you make that any bigger?
For a fee.
Pardon?
Just kidding.
I have one candy left.
That's okay. I'll take candy. That sounds bad. Yes, true. Yes, we do.
You're better negotiating than me.
Yeah, but I like to share. I like to share. So if I may, again, this is, as my mayor said, this is something that we're learning. There's different ways to do things. You learn as municipalities do from each other all the time, which is a great industry for sharing. So what I think I'd like to do is kind of read what the amendment is, and then if there's any department head that wants to speak to that, depending on what it's about, we can maybe do that, Madam Mayor.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so the first one is, again, thanks to Councillor Gowdy for pointing out that we didn't have the Sharp Lake Village project in. I think it's important if we don't complete something 1 year, which I know is our stressing that we want to do it in the 1 year. I believe it should be in the next year's budget so that we don't forget about it like Michael did. So the first amendment is the Sharp Lake Village project, which again, a reminder is 34,000 is coming from our funds. The rest is a grant, which we don't want to lose. So I guess Steve, I don't think, no, I was just gonna say, I don't think, Steve, that we need to really talk about it. Everybody knows what the Sharp Lake.
That was
Village
just
is.
put in, right?
That was just put in because I missed it.
Okay.
So do we need to talk
Wait.
about whether it's carried? Anybody have issues, questions, I guess?
So is that number one?
That is 2026. Thank you. Yes, 2026-01.
Okay, so everybody's in agreement that that needs to be in there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna write
Is
okay.
it 2025 or 2025?
2026 budget.
So their amendments number 2025.1?
No, it's 2026-01.
Okay.
That's the way I put it. I apologize if,
That's all right.
I'll change it as I go.
but the clerk department may be different on that in terms of it's a budget, it's a 2025 year action, but it's a
Yeah.
2026 budget. So I could adjust mine to where the clerk department wants to as well. Sorry.
Number one is okay.
That's okay.
Okay, one's good. All right. Thank you.
To hell with the.
Sorry, Jody. Okay,
Just clear.
and just to, I did put these in because it's the mayor's budget. So for counselor, I put in the mayor. So we add, the second one is adding the county funding to the budget, as it was told to me about for the Sharp Lake washroom. So
Okay, so that one's okay. We're all in agreement to that one.
good. Councillor Gowdy put in for Omer's pension reduction, and I'll sincerely apologize that I have a couple emails, older emails unread, that I was meant to bring that to council. but I haven't, so we're at where we're at in terms of do we include it in the 2026 budget or not? I mean, again, just off the top of my head, it could be an incentive for other people to run for council. So it's not maybe too late, but that's for discussion.
Go ahead.
The reason I took it off is it's our last term and we've never
Mm-hmm.
paid into it, but if the new council coming in wants to pay into it, you add it in. But like this year, we're not gonna pay enough into it to really redeem ourselves of it when we go to retire or if we're retired. So
Right.
that's why I thought to take that it's
Yeah.
not a lot, but almost
No.
$10,000,
Yeah.
it can add up.
And everything does
And
that.
that's why I sent it in.
From Madam Mayor's Councilor Gowdy, I'm not, any amendments come in, it's just, that's what popped in my head was it could be an incentive for other councillors coming in, but I can appreciate your point of what impact is it gonna have for us?
Those new folks will have
Or-
to vote it in the 2027 budget.
Right.
So,
So, yep,
okay,
that's
that's
fine.
out,
Okay.
right?
Thank you.
All right, number 4.
Number 4 is grants to other rec groups. So Councillor Gowdy and Councillor Smith put in reduction of 10,000 to the Perth Hospital. The reasons are up there and they're a little bit hard, but should I read them?
Sure.
Maybe. Okay, so I don't believe, and that's probably my typo that I'm seeing and pointing out. I don't believe we should be supporting the hospital with taxpayers' money. They can decide how to spend their money in support. I don't believe we have budget room to make this donation, as if we donate 10,000 to Perth Smith Falls, we should and need to set aside 10,000 for Kingston and Napanee as our residents go to these hospitals as well.
Does anybody want to speak to this, for or against? So the proposal is to take this out. Duncan?
I support it personally, but as a counselor, I don't think that municipalities should be giving it to the hospital.
Okay, Lynn?
I don't believe that the council and the township should be doing that. If individuals want to, they can do it on their own.
Okay, so do we have an agreement that we're going to take that out? Show of hands. Okay, that's out.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Duncan?
Michael, while we're on this particular slide, do you have any idea what the entire 58,000 is for? So it was a $30,000, sorry, this was a $30,000 increase in the budget item. One was this.
Okay, in that line, yes,
Yeah.
there is a different council amendment that goes to that.
Okay.
This one, if you don't mind waiting
Yep,
till then,
that's
Councillor McCurgan, thank you. So that was number 4, so we're on to number 5.
Number 5.
So Councillor Gowdy and Councillor McGregor wanted to remove the $15,000 for special projects, and I had a paper here. So I can appreciate that. I went to that line and I thought I had put a description in there and I did not, so I apologize for that. So what it is the automation of the AP process. So right now, obviously, like everybody else,
What's AP?
accounts payable, sorry, not apples and possums or whatever, but thank you. So it would be, if we can have all the emails come to accounts payable at centralfrontenac.com, there's different levels, right? So we can have the basics of, we at least have all the documents scanned in TomRems, and then that goes out to the different department heads. They approve that and goes back in. So it's better tracking, better auditability, probably quicker processing of the invoices. And then the next level, which I wouldn't want to do right now because we're switching softwares, is have that automatically go into there. So there's, if I can maybe just read, because we had 2 demonstrations on it from 2 different companies. There's increased efficiency, automating invoice processing eliminates repetitive manual tasks, reducing time spent on data entry, approvals, and routing. Cost savings, lower administrative overhead by minimizing paper handling, postage, and manual labor, freeing resources for higher value activities. Improved accuracy, automation reduces human errors in data entry and spend calculations, ensuring invoices are processed correctly and on time. Faster approval cycles, which I already touched on. Enhanced transparency, so we could then say, here, auditors, here's all the invoices, or we can pick them easily and email them off to them versus having to go manually get it. Compliance with records management, so we could automatically have a reminder that that needs to be removed after 7 years. And I'll just thoughts jump in my head. So we went from, I mean, I joke to people, we went from 2,000 square foot of storage to 200 square foot of storage here. So that digitization of everything, I know that's the way we're heading, and it's not always the answer, I will say that. But I think this is a huge step in improving that process. Secure document storage, so everything stored in Canada using SharePoint for storage provides centralized, secure, and easily searchable access to all EP documents. And
So at that point, let me interrupt you.
Sorry.
It's worthwhile.
uh,
For $15,000, I think we should do it.
it's I just wanted to give the information, and
Okay.
I apologize for reading so much. But
Okay.
that's your job, to cut people out, right?
So is this is an operating expense? Like it's gonna cost us $15,000 a year from now on?
No, and thank you for that question, because that's one thing I wrote down on my other spot, is that it is a one-time fee with this company, and then they train you, and then you're on your own. So
Okay.
it's not, there's no annual cost related to it. It's just later, it would probably be another $10,000 or $15,000 or whatever to increase the efficiency of having to import to the financial software.
Perfect. So I thought it was an operating expense, so I'm
Yep.
okay to remove it as an amendment.
Okay,
And that's where I just
Okay,
wanted to
so-
give the information, and council makes the decision. So,
okay.
right, yes.
Number 6.
So, okay, one sec, sorry. Yeah, defeated in terms of it's not being pulled out. Yes. And that's why I just had to, in my mind,
Charlotte Lake
I
School.
need to get rid of that pencil. Sorry,
13,000.
where's Chris go? Pencil's in my way again.
Can't
All
remember
right,
what that
so
is.
this one, Councillor Gowdy and Councillor McGregor, there's $65,000 that's put in the school site, and the Mount American maybe go into more detail, but for a water study and whatnot, but I just wanted to
That's
point
correct.
out that,
There's 52 in reserve.
right, that's what I wanted to point out, that it really is a $13,000
Net-
savings versus a 65, just to point that out.
And if we don't use it this year, then it doesn't come out of the reserve. So I think we should leave it there because there is action that will happen in 2026. And there is 52 in the reserves, and we're budgeting 13 if we use it. Duncan?
Sorry, so I'm okay with the 52,000 we already have in reserves. What's the additional 13,000 for?
It's just if we have to use up to 65. 65 was the number that we think we might need. So 52 is from reserves and 13 would be raised.
Okay, so then I'd like to just remove the 13,000. I'm okay with my amendment proposition is to remove the 13,000 we're taking off of tax levy.
Okay? I think we should keep it, but Nikki,
So the reason I put it in is we kind of stalled on the Charlotte Lake site. So my problem was if we're going to put money in and put it aside, I want a plan that we're definitely going to do something in 2027 to use that money and go forward so that we're shovel ready on a project for grants. Like I just want to see a plan put there. That was why I said take it out. I was a little concerned that we were stalled.
this money will be working on the plan, which that work will happen in 2026, but shovel ready is probably 3 or 4 years down the road.
Mhm.
But this would be for costs that will happen in 2026 to get ready for that build. So I think it's wise to keep it there. It is only 13,000, and if we don't need it, we don't use it. How many want to keep it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many want to take it out? 1, 2, 3. So
Cindy.
oh, Cindy, where are you?
Here, I'm right here. I'm keep it.
Okay, so what does that mean? The 13,
That council amendment would be defeated because it was pulling
So
it out.
okay, so removed. No, leave
So-
it there.
So ultimately,
Yeah,
the amendment is defeated, which means we're leaving it in the budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in.
And
All
I
right.
need to say it for myself.
In and out, yeah.
As long as you know when you redo the numbers and we'll see them again. All right, next is,
So the next one is Councillor Gowdy and Councillor Meeks wanting to remove the $20,000 for the Oso Hall repairs. Just reading the comments, this repair was not only just asked for in recent weeks. I would prefer to do more investigation, look for grants and costing of the whole project to be done. There isn't a commercial fridge or stove at Olden Hall. Why start another project when we were not done Olden renovations? Or when we're not done. There we go.
okay. Anybody want to speak to this? Nikki?
Yes, I was just concerned that we knew that we had repairs that were required from years ago. I think the fire chief had brought a report years ago about fans, proper ventilation and fans and stuff. I know the repairs need to be done, but in a year that everything is very tight, I think that if we can find grants and price the whole project, like the gentleman had a whole list of things, not just the kitchen per se, if we could price the whole project, look for grants, and if we have to bring money out of reserves to match a grant, I'm open to having that discussion, but to throw it in this year and just do a kind of a half job instead of doing the whole job, I'm a little concerned about.
Okay. Andy?
Yeah.
Through you, Madam Mayor. I've got a report coming to the next council meeting. There is a grant that will cover, I believe it's up to 25,000 or 35% of a renovation. But in order to get 25,000, we'd have to spend probably 70,000. I can't remember the exact percentage, but there is a grant available, and we can have more detailed discussion on it at the council meeting.
Okay. So 20,000 probably wouldn't match that grant. But what Nikki is saying is if there's actually an ability to do something this year, to take that out of reserves. And I guess we really don't have to budget that, Michael, as long as we decide to do that.
Madam Mayor, as Andy was speaking, I was thinking about that. So the council amendment right now is to pull the $20,000 out. If we think the intention is to use a grant and we're gonna have to spend more money, what I'd like to see maybe is this defeated to leave the 20,000 in. And then whatever the difference is between what the grant covers and what we would have to put in could just pull out of reserves, or if it's small enough, I would just make it part of the year-end surplus deficit.
That makes sense.
Oops.
Dan and then Duncan.
Well, I put that in because we're Olden Hall amendments coming up too as well, but we're not, when we did the tender for the Olden Hall, we didn't include everything in the Olden Hall for the tender that was budgeted in 2025. So in 2026, other than the ramp, there was nothing left for what was left and approved in 2025 budget. That's why I took that out. Why start another project when we're not done this one and there's no money there to finish what we have started and was budgeted for in 2025?
Right. I do believe that this one, we can also get some donations from users. I think there's a bit of a campaign that would go together to raise some funds to assist with the project. Susan had her hand up and then Lynn.
I hear what you're, through Madam Mayor to Councillor Meeks, I hear what you're saying.
Pull that closer, Susan. You've got the quietest
It's
voice.
right up close. So I appreciate what you're saying in terms of finishing one project, but we have a number of halls, so we have to work on them to keep them, you know, usable. And the OSO hall is used an incredible amount. And so I'm in favor of keeping the 20,000 or whatever and working with the community to raise some funds and look at grants and so forth. We may not be able to do the whole project, but it needs a lot of improvement. I'm in there quite often and yeah.
Okay, Lynn.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I just feel that we need to get a full scope of what are all the things that need to happen before we just piecemeal things together. It seems like a rush to just suddenly jump in and put $20,000 there, and you're only going to partially do a lot of the things. It can't possibly bring the kitchen up to code under that amount of money, and that to me would be one of the priority items that should be looked at, so that it can be rented out properly with a proper kitchen. So I'm against, I want this pulled from the
Okay.
budget.
Duncan.
So I don't think $20,000 by ourselves is going to do the work, but I also don't want to leave grant money on the table. So my first thought is remove the 20,000 and then come back begging to council if we ever get the grant. My suggestion, based on hearing what Councillor Meeks had said, what if we just removed it from the budget as a specific line item for OSA Hall and just left it in as special projects for halls in general? If we were to receive the grant money, so we don't leave the grant money on the table, we could use it for the OSA Hall, or we could use it to solve some of the problems that Olden experiencing with some of the last minute things you want to fix. So it would stay in the budget. It just wouldn't be earmarked for the OSA Hall.
Mr. Treasurer, what do you think of that?
I think we can do whatever council wishes. My thought behind the $20,000 was I know there's more work that needs to be done, and I can agree honestly that doing part of it without the whole picture maybe seems kind of but I looked at it like the road projects. We can't do all of, let's say, 509, but we can piecemeal it. This would give a stove to give the people that are in there actually work with something. And I thought it was a stove and a fridge, and there may be other things, Andy, that can comment on that. But that at least gives them something to work with right now. No, everything's not perfect. And so it would be nice to do at least that and then take that into account when we're doing the bigger picture. And no, I don't want to lose the grant either. So if it's council wish to just put it as a general hall, we can do that. But this is trying to, again, live within our means, and 20,000 we can afford.
Okay, Dan.
Would that grant work for Olden Hall, Andy, to finish that up?
Yes, it could be applied to any of our halls. Yeah.
Thanks.
No, Danny, stop taking it all. Okay, is it in or is it out? How many people want it taken out? 2, 3. How many want it in? 1, 2, 3. Cindy? In or out?
In.
In. It stays in then. All right, we're on page 2 of my numbers.
On to number 8.
Yes.
Okay, good. Councillor Gowden and Councillor Smith, Public Works Vehicle Repair, there are multiple lines in there. So just the additional information I wanted to provide before we talk about it maybe is I can appreciate that 2025 we're not done, right? As I said, there's another 1.5 million probably at least of invoices to come in. So that's going to bring the 3-year average down, but also the 2025 actuals of 254 are not quite the whole picture. So if you can see on screen, I'll try and make that bigger. So the 3-year average is 316,000. So we've gone from 2021, 240 to 330 to 339 to 417. So every year it's gone up. We know prices go up. We know repairs happen. You can't do a whole lot about it. So I just wanted to bring that to point that I just honestly, I don't think it's a good saving spot, because I think we're going to have to spend it anyways if we want the roads plowed or taken care of. Again, just honest thoughts, and I hope the council appreciates that, because I don't want to make it feel good or whatever. That's honestly where I'm coming from.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for sharing the 3-year averages, because that was my question when I first asked was, it looks like there's a lot of money sitting there, but then when you look at the average, it's not as much as you originally thought.
So you'd be good to take it back out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we all good to take that back out? Because we're probably going to need to spend it. All right.
Okay, so that is defeated then.
Out.
The poll. Okay.
All right. Number 9.
Thank you, and you're welcome, Councillor Smith. Councillor Gowdy on number 9 is Public Works ditching to remove $15,000 for cost savings.
Can speak to that.
Okay.
If you look at the actuals, I believe we'd spent 3,000 so far. Okay.
Yeah, you can't even.
Okay, my concern is we bought a piece of equipment for brushing.
Yeah.
And it's not, the promise was it was gonna be on the road 5 days a week.
Mhm.
We're getting complaints about brushing from numerous corners of all the areas. If you're gonna put the money in for ditching and roadside maintenance and everything, I wanna make sure you're gonna use it. And that's where I'm coming from.
Through you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, it was 5 days a week, time permitting in the winter, because they have to plow snow. So it snowed almost every day. They've been out this week. So they'll be out when they can in the wintertime. The summertime, they'll be out every day in the summertime.
Okay. So we're going to put that money back in. We're going to use it. All right. So that is, what's that out?
Defeated.
Or,
I mean,
it's still in the budget. The money's still in the budget.
See, that's where it's getting confusing.
Yeah,
because
see,
sometimes in and out.
it- I'm putting a line through it.
Yeah, so it's getting confused.
So the intention of the amendment was to pull the money out. It's defeated, so it's not being pulled out.
So just
Okay.
they stay in.
Number 10.
It's a big one, gravel.
Councillor-
No,
Oh,
we're right under.
Okay, thank you, Jody.
oh, there you go.
On to number 10, Councillor Gowdy suggested removing 15,000 for underground infrastructure for cost savings.
Go ahead.
A lot of my amendments, I put them on here because I want explanations and I want to be able to talk about it. Our underground infrastructure, again, we didn't have a lot of expenses. Hopefully you have lots of bills coming in this year, but what's the plan with all this money? Like, what are you putting in new drainage? Are you like, cause it's only in the villages that you would have underground infrastructure in place for public works.
Through you, Madam Mayor, that's what we use to clean the catch basins and you know, we do all the villages but there's still bills for that coming in too. We haven't got the bills all for that, so.
Yeah, I think by looking at what the actuals are, because we're so early in the game, is really, you really can't compare with what might be left. Because the bill, we've got 3 months worth, right, of bills. So we'll leave that money back in. So that,
Madam Mayor, if I can just make a comment.
Sure.
Obviously, we're doing this meeting again, as Madam Mayor said, for the first time, we're learning things. And I am taking note of these different things. So maybe in the future, I can add 3-year average of 2024, let's say, to 2022, but I don't want to leave out the current year so we can see what's going on, because obviously we change projects up a little bit each year, or priorities of operations even. So I just wanted to let council know I am making note of that.
but maybe there's got to be some way of when on the actual column of saying average 3 months more would be, or something like that. So that you can have a better
Mm-hmm, so you can have.
idea of what an actual year end would be.
Madam Mayor, let me work on that because, sorry, Madam Mayor, let me work on that. There is a way to do it. I do have a forecast report that I've told you I don't have 100% confidence in yet, but it does do something like that where it takes the last, takes the actuals and then takes the December for the last 3 years and adds that on. So let me, again, make that
would be
note.
helpful next time around.
Even if the staff could say to Michael, like during the process to say, oh, just earmark that with an asterisk saying, we know the bill, we know the bills are coming in, they're due to come in. And it's just a comment on the side to say that they're coming, the money's, we've worked on it, the money's been expended, it just hasn't been paid.
So through Madam Mayor and Councilor Gowdy, there's a way to do that as well in that forecast report. So again, it goes from whatever I've set it up and there's a spot for managers to say, you know, yes, we're expecting this, or no, we're expecting that. So you can make a manual adjustment to the expectation or the forecast.
This is the first year of learning for all of us, so anything that can make it work better. Duncan?
Through Madam Mayor, Steve, so the ditching and underground infrastructure, we increased ditching by $30,000 and increased ditching by $10,000 and we increased underground infrastructure by $5,000. Could we keep them both at the 2025 level or they have to go up? Like, are you anticipating the cost go up, or why is that going up like that?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'm pretty sure that the underground infrastructure will be on budget or a little over. The ditching, I wanted to put a little more in so I could do a little more next year, but
Should probably leave it in. It's leaving it in means taking it out of here, right?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. So
There, yeah.
leaving it in is taking it out. What are
Yeah,
we
so
doing?
so the council amendment was to reduce it by $15,000. If we're defeating it, then we're leaving that 15,000 in the budget.
We agreed to leave the 15,000 in the budget. I see nods. All those in favor? Yeah, okay, so we're leaving it in. So,
Stay in, yeah, just put in.
okay.
So then on to number 11, Councillor Gowdy was proposing to increase public works gravel by $250,000 to help with potholes.
The winter helps with potholes. The road's very smooth right now. So, do I talk to that?
So I'd increased the gravel because I had put amendments in to take stuff off, so it wouldn't affect the 5.5% of the budget.
Right.
But, you know, with all of our discussion, which is why we're here and what I love, this could be changed, but we're not doing a lot of road work this year. I thought if we could increase gravel, I've talked to Steve a few times over it, that we could help please some people with gravel rather than replacing the hardtop. And that's where my thoughts were coming. If we can't put it in, we can't put it in. You know, that's what amendments are all about, just to have discussion over them. But
Yeah.
that's where I was coming from with the gravel.
Okay. Steve, do you want to speak to
Yeah.
that?
And Susan.
Oh,
Madam Mayor.
and then Susan? Or Susan, do you want to speak first?
Here we go. Through
Okay.
Madam Mayor.
See you.
No,
Yes, I know. I think I support Councillor Gowdy's amendment. Just looking at the budget survey, the residents want improved maintenance on our roads. So as a representative of the residents of Central Frontenac, I'm in favor.
Okay, Steve, what can you do with $250,000 more?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I know Nikki asked how much we could do. So an example is we did 9 kilometers and it cost 160,000 for gravel. So that gives you an idea what we could do with 250 more, I guess.
Duncan,
Would it be okay to defer this gravel conversation till the end of the meeting to see what we can cut? Because if we can cut 250,000, it's a no-brainer. If we can't cut 250,000, I think it warrants further discussion.
that's not a bad idea because we started at 8% and the 250 could make a big difference. So let's star this and we'll come back to it. Good suggestion. All right. Next, we are at,
Oh, free salt.
Number
Oh,
12.
salt down.
Right?
11.
12.
What's 11? Oh, that's when we're coming back to. It's number 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going on to number 12, Councillor Gowden and Councillor McGregor, dry fire hydrant or fire dry hydrants is how I've got it typed here for 45,000, but it sounded funny saying it that way.
But it's out.
It's out. I don't see it in mine. There's nothing in there, Michael.
Okay, so there's no net dollar impact
No.
because it's pulling from reserves. So being a capital project, we have the project in and we have money coming from reserves. So if this were cut, it would leave 45,000 sitting in reserves. That's the true impact.
Okay.
And the project wouldn't get
So
done.
it's good, right?
Good from a perspective of getting or keeping money in reserves, but not good from the perspective of not getting a project done.
So, Chris, dry hydrants.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this hydrant is to repair the hydrant. It's in Charlotte Lake. It's right now it's not functioning. It's been, we believe, plugged with the
Muscles.
zebra mussels. So it has to be repaired. And I can't fill the rink either, let alone put out house fires.
So
So-
it's in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I support this as a priority, but compared to the other capital projects in fire, I don't think as you rank them, they're not as high. So I'd like to ensure that we can do the other projects. And that's where I talk later about transfer to reserves of $100,000 to cover the projects, which means, I guess what I would be saying is cancel the dry hydrant and then change my other amendment that was $100,000 transfer reserves to 65,000 to cover future vehicle purchases, as well as being able to cover the costs of the other projects in capital if we don't get the grants.
We'll get there. We'll get there to the other one.
Yeah, they go hand in hand though. So
How do you deal with that, Michael?
Well, Madam Mayor, I believe the next one, I hate to jump around here. Maybe we start that one and come back to that one as well.
Sure. Nikki has a question.
Mike-
Oh, and so does Susan.
Oh, sorry, Susan. Chief, can you explain to me, please, because I don't understand, what is the difference of a dry hydrant or just using, filling from the lake or the pond? Like what makes the dry hydrant so much better than just sticking your hose in the pond, for lack of my ignorance? Please.
Through Madam Mayor to Councillor Gowdy, so it's for access, especially in winter months. Cutting a hole in the ice could take us, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the thickness of the ice and the access for the truck. So with the lines going into the water, they can only be so long. And then if we get it to, reaching too far, we just can't the truck will not draw the water properly. So it's all a matter of efficiencies, right? And level of service.
Okay, Susan.
Through Madam Mayor. And I'm okay with starring it to look at it at the end. But again, I'm going to wear my council rep hat, and I'm always guided by surveys and objective evidence and the strategic planning sessions and the security, policing, fire is very important to residents. And so if we can fit it in, I'm in favor of it.
Okay,
May I-
Michael.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to ask the fire chief, this dry hydrant in particular has been an issue multiple years. Is there a better location than the current one? Like, I'm just worried we say, let's spend $45,000 and you're back again next year saying, no, that still didn't fix it.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Smith. So we do have a plan that
Our problem is that the water levels are high in this, higher in the recent months or years, I guess, because and it's freezing at a level that we can't get the access to the water. So what we're planning to do is to run the line across into the bank so we can actually keep it from freezing. That's been the biggest problem. And we're going to try and address a design of our own to avoid the zebra mussels going forward. So hopefully I don't think I'll be back with another request for this. So
Michael.
Just a question to the fire chief, Madam Mayor. Would this not, having the dry hydrant, not also not put our valuable volunteers at risk from cutting a hole in the ice? Or am I missing how you guys do that?
Yeah, you got to get on the ice to cut the hole.
Yeah, so I think that would make it safer for the firefighters.
So to your question, we still have locations where we might have to do that, but they wear life jackets when they do it. So
Okay,
Really?
but there'd be less opportunity for something to happen if we had a dry
They
hydrant.
have their wetsuits.
Okay, so we're moving on from this, but we're not doing anything with it.
We just started.
Correct, number 12, we're just starting it.
Okay, and the same with number 13? No.
No,
it's-
number 13 is Councillor Gowdy and Councillor Meeks for Arden Hall to pull 20,000 out of there. And again, there's net impact to the levy other than it would increase the reserves by 20,000 if the project was pulled. So this is the exterior
20,000.
upgrades, 20,000,
Yeah, right there.
yes.
So the 20,000 was in the budget and now you're pulling it out into and doing it by reserves.
So the money is in the budget right now with a transfer from reserves to offset it. So if this project were removed, there's no difference to the 5.5% or 8%, whatever one we want
Okay.
to refer to. It would just leave 20,000 sitting in reserves.
Right. Okay. Lynn?
I can say that that was work that was supposed to be done this year, and the eave troughs are leaking and the soffits and fascias are falling apart right now. So the longer you delay it, the more other damage is going to be happening in that. So I would like to see it left.
As I went through this, Bill Young was sitting with us
Mhm.
and he explained that very thing, which is why we left it in. Okay. So onward to the salt dump number. Oh, sorry.
Can we get a resolution on that?
Yes.
Resolution, sorry, but
That's an okay.
are we leaving
That's the way it is.
13?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to clarify, Madam Mayor. Oh, sorry, Madam Mayor, thank you.
So it's what do we call that?
Number 13, we're
Just
That
staying
is-
in.
feeding, or it's staying in the budget.
Stay
Yeah,
in the
just
budget.
break it
Stay-
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to vote on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the Olden Hall again. I mean, we've had, since 2024, we've been waiting 6 months for the budget. And it was approved, our hall, and now we're being cut of the final projects to be done. So what I'm saying is, how can we not finish one project if we're gonna go ahead and start another one? I'm not trying to take all the money.
Well,
I
but
just wanted it approved. We've already been approved for that. And so now it's been 1.5 years and still nothing done.
well, I think there is money in the budget to continue on with the Mountain Grove project. But as well, we have to look at the other halls as well.
I realize that.
So that just means we're going to have to raise more money. So instead of a 5.5, the halls may cost us another 110,000 is 1%, right?
Yes,
So if you want to fix it, it's a percent, maybe over and above, or we find some other way to cut it.
But we've
But
already
it
been
can't
approved.
all go to one hall. There's
I
other
realize that,
halls.
Fran, I realize that, but we've already been approved in 2025.
Yes.
And not all the things were added in the tender
So you have to retender?
in 2026, but everything's pulled now from 2026 for the retender. That's what I'm trying to,
Okay.
so
Is it-
maybe to Madam Mayor and Councillor Meeks, there is 275,000 in the budget for Olden Hall, and I can appreciate the frustration with projects getting delayed, no matter what the project is. It's frustrating. But I do think that we have to sometimes do multiple projects and that can be demanding on time, but hopefully we can get it all done.
Okay, Philip?
Thank you, Member. I just want to clarify. The work was supposed to be done for the Arden Hall in 2025, but was not done. So that's kind of money that went back into reserves and is getting pulled out to be done in 2026?
If the 20,000 was in for Arden Hall in 2025, then yes, if that money wasn't spent, the money would not have been pulled from reserves, and therefore it's basically still sitting there to be pulled in 2026. So we're not raising extra capital to do that. It's just pulling from reserves actually,
where it was put.
where it was put, yes.
So Dan, this isn't new money. It's
Yeah.
already been raised and now it's coming back out. Okay?
See, and if I may, Madam Mayor, and that's
Yeah.
where we all look at things differently and we all bring different points and we don't always, we miss stuff, right? Like communicating with my wife.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on number 14.
Yeah, that was number.
Yeah, so that was 13, which was then,
We're okay with, well, do we need to
No.
vote on 13?
No, it
Yeah.
says in.
Well,
It's already in.
is everybody good with the hall?
Right.
Okay, everybody's nodding. All right, 14.
so then on to 14, what Councillor Gowdy is proposing is right now we have the Salt Dome as a project for 900,000. We have money coming from reserves as 900,000. Councillor Gowdy's comments are, I would like the dome to come out of reserves with Public Works paying the loan back at 200,000 per year rather than adding it to the tax roll. So ultimately, versus adding to the tax roll, we'd just be pulling from reserves. So what I put in here, Councillor Gowdy, is a $200,000 payback, which would add almost the 2% levy increase, right? So that's what we're talking about.
And we were going to draw it out of reserves.
Yes, we were simply going to draw it from reserves versus paying it back.
So remember, folks, with the reserves, that money is set aside for projects that need to be done in a year when things are high. And we also are looking at this year end of having a surplus to go into those reserves. So that's why we decided to take it out of reserves instead of levying for it. So I would suggest that we don't do it this way, that we pay it out of reserves and see where we are after the year end is known. Duncan,
So the 900,000 being taken out of reserves is included in the 5.5% tax levy
Correct,
Yeah.
Councillor McGregor, through Madam Mayor, yes,
with no repayment plan.
with no repayment plan.
yes,
Thank you.
okay, so how many people agree that that way of doing it is the way we want to do it?
So if we can clarify that way, so I would say we discussed
We
about the
actually got
way,
to do it the opposite way. We got to bid, we got to bid.
do we pay it
gotta-
back? I guess my question is, do we pay it back or do we just pull from reserve?
Yes.
That's the
That,
question.
okay, so do we pay it back? If so, there's $200,000 in here that we're going to pay this year. How many people want to do that? Okay, how many people want to do it by reserve instead? How many people want to vote? Do you need longer to think about it?
Come back to it then.
Come back
Just
to
come
it. Go
back to
ahead.
it.
I didn't realize when we got the budget that it was coming out of reserves. I thought we were levying, it was included in the tax levy. That's where my comment came from, that I thought, no, let's take it out of the tax levy, free up money for other projects,
Right.
borrow it from ourselves and pay it back. I didn't realize in the budget that it was already coming out of reserves. The documents we had didn't say that.
Well, and not to Madam Mayor, Councillor Gowdy, not to make it more confusing, but in a sense, we are levying every year to put money into reserves for the different capital projects. Now we're identifying that's the project we're pulling out of reserves for.
So are you ready to withdraw your,
Oh.
there we go. It's with the, we don't have that category yet, but now we do. Withdrawn. All right. Now, number 15,
15, Councillor Smith, we spent,
cemeteries.
sorry, okay, make sure I had the mic on. We had $30,000 in 2025 and we're budgeting 75 for 2026. So again, I apologize to Councillor Gowdy and Councillor Smith, I didn't get a chance to get back to you. But the reason behind this is the digging contract basically ballooned, I'll say, the price wise. And then we also had to pay for the outside maintenance of the contract. So that's why it's gone up to $75,000, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's maybe should be reflected in our pricing.
Okay. Anybody want to speak to this?
Backhoes.
Backhoes, you're gonna be going to dig.
So the suggestion is to do what with it?
Sorry, Madam Mayor, the suggestion is to decrease it by $35,000.
So if we do, we're just going to be over budget.
We will be over budget in 2026, yes.
So who proposed this?
Yeah.
Okay, are you prepared to withdraw?
Yes, I don't like the increase.
Okay, so withdrawn, number 15. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah.
So 15 is withdrawn, going on to number 16. Councillor Smith, removed second SCBA fill station as we already have one. As we already have a fill station, we need to make do with that station. This will leave 60,000 in our reserves. So the proposal is to remove $140,000 from the project, or remove the project from respiratory protection. Just for further information, Councillor Smith, there is a transfer from reserves of 60,000, but there's also a grant revenue of 80,000 in that 140. Maybe more.
Chris, do you want to speak to this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the province, the Fire Marshal's office has put forward a $20 million grant opportunity for the province. It's for cancer preventive projects. So last one we did was the generator for Station 3 to run that station for showers and other cancer preventative things, the SCBA fill station there. So with nothing in the western part of the municipality, when we run out of cylinders, air cylinders, we have to transfer them back to Sharbot Lake, refill them, and then bring them back to the site. So we also have our training center at Mountain Grove. So this is where I was going to put this piece of equipment. So going back to the grant, they're calculating that the minimum we would get is $16,000 per station when the grant's approved. This fill station is actually 112,000. I think we'll get the 112,000, but if I don't get the 112,000 or the whatever, I'm not going to buy the piece of equipment. So Michael suggested that we leave it in there, and I'm just hoping that I hear back within the next, couple months or month that I get that money. So that's where it's at.
So we leave it in as a reserve. If we don't get the grant, we don't do it.
Right.
Yeah. So we're okay with that? Philip?
Can I ask what the ongoing operational costs of these units are?
So it varies. So the one that we have in Sharbot Lake, it's getting quite old. I spent, I think, 14,000 on it last year. This year I've spent about 3,300. So it's between 3,000 and 5,000 for testing. They have to be annually tested for air quality testing, right? So that's done. Filters are changed, so on and so forth. So all that has to be done with those. I mean, it's breathing air, right? So we have to make sure we meet all the applicable standards for that. So
Appreciate that. And just, that's the point. It's not free just because I got a grant.
no. Well, and there's the installation too of the that's not.
It is something
included.
you have to have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Everything fire is not cheap, really.
I'll add my 2 cents, Madam Mayor, that to Councillor Smith's point, there's always a life cycle cost to everything that we buy, pretty
Yes.
much.
Including people.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, same dip. Yeah.
Okay, so that one is going to remain as it is.
16.
Yeah, so that's 16 will remain in the budget.
17.
17 is Councillor Smith reducing to 0 as 2025 spend was 0 after budgeting 35K. And I'll take this one, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Smith. So this was 35,000 is what was suggested to me for, I'm going to say in place of development charges, it would be called capital charges. So I did at the MFOA conference ask a company to come to council and do a presentation and whatnot, and I've still yet to receive an email back. So what he did tell me there is instead of spending 35, we could spend maybe 15, bring it to council, see if there's an appetite for it. And if there is, in the next year, we budget more and move forward with the project. So 15 was a minimum to get him to come to council and present that. And I have to follow up with them. So that's my bad for not getting this project done in 2025.
So that's what the 15 is for?
That's fine. I still don't believe in development charges for our small municipality either. So I'm still fine with no.
Okay. So do we need to put the 15 in there?
Whatever council wishes, Madam Mayor. If it's not in there, it's one less thing for me to worry about. If it's in there, it's one thing I have to worry about.
So what are we doing now? for
So
17?
are we taking it out? I've got no nods. Okay, so it's out. For 17.
So carried. So 17 will be pulled from the budget, the 15,000.
That's it,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
On to number 18. Councillor Smith suggesting resurface or pave Eagle Lake Road from 38 to the top of the hill beyond the train tracks to the top of the hill for 50,000.
Steve, what do you think about that? 50 or 30?
To you, Madam Mayor, I don't know if we could do it for that price. I'm not too sure about that because we just did Dixon Crescent. I mean, I'm going to say that's close to probably the same length if you want to do on the other side of the tracks. So, yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know if you want to leave it in and want me to do it, I'll do it.
Okay, it's 50,000 that would come out of reserves. Dan,
How's the secondary pavement, or what do you call it, recycling pavement? You did that already with that. How's that holding up what it was?
To you, Madam Mayor, I know they did similar to what we did in Crow Lake up to the tracks on that Eagle Lake Hill, but I haven't seen it myself lately. I don't know how it's holding up right now.
I drove it once and seemed to be all right, but I don't know how long it
last,
will hold up, or it is a problem, that hill, yeah.
Nikki?
This comment isn't just about this project. There's things in every corner of the township in this budget, except for in Hinchinbrook. There's nothing. So if we talk about equity, there's not any hall work. We've been waiting 4 or 5 years to get a cemetery fence replaced out in Hinchinbrook. We have gotten other things, but there's nothing specifically in this budget for Hinchinbrook Township, because you can't say 38's pavement preservation is for Hinchinbrook, because everybody in the township uses it. So if Philip has put in a request to do something, that's the meaning behind it, is we're trying to find something to say that we have seen this corner of the township and we hear you.
Steve?
To you, Madam Mayor, I'm for it. If you guys want to do it, I'm for it. It makes it better. It makes it better for us to maintain, so.
Yeah. Susan?
Through Madam Mayor to Mr. Gould, just a question in terms of the, the road surveys project. Where does this particular project fit in there? Well, then you can answer the question, save me. It's not on it. Okay.
Because can I just talk about the study was done on only the surfaced roads. There was no gravel roads included, because the previous public work manager said the report would just come back saying we have to fix all the gravel roads. So we didn't even include the gravel roads.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to the project.
How many people agree of taking 50,000 out of reserves for the Eagle Lake Road? Put up your hands. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's carried. So that is in as
Taken out of
stated,
reserves.
out of
yeah.
reserves. So it's
Yeah,
in.
whatever it is. It's in.
All right. Okay. What's next? Ditching. We've got a ditch, underground ditching and all that good stuff.
30,000 in this ditch.
Ditching, there it is, 30,000.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I was just tracking things. So on number 19, yes, we're looking to add 30,000 in ditching through Councillor Smith, ditching and realignment work on Wilkinson Road from train tracks to Fourth Lake Road.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah, there is over 100 homes on Chippewa Lake, and that's the road they traverse to get out. And basically it's from Fourth Lake out of our township, and it's a gravel road. So I'm hoping that we can do some ditching realignment, something there to get something for them. That's really the only service they use in our municipality. So.
Yeah. And Steve, that is one that you can do something to help out with that.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yeah, 30,000 will help. It won't do everything, but it would definitely help do some of it. And then maybe the next year we do some more. I know the road, with the previous manager, we went out there and it's not wide enough to hard top it yet. So maybe with some work and some extra rock, we could widen spots and fix it. I'm like, there's another one that if you want to, I'm for it.
And it's surprising. My road, when I first moved on it, was a path. And over the years, they did little sections here and there, and it's made it the road that it is today. So we may not be able to do it all, but if we do pieces of it, it all adds up.
Yeah.
Nikki and somebody else had their hand up over there.
Dan and
Duncan.
Oh, Duncan, sorry, you're first and then Nikki.
Could the $30,000 that you're planning for Wilkinson Road be included in the $250,000 that Councillor Gowdy wants to include for the gravel? Like, could we just include it in the gravel project and then make Wilkinson Road a priority?
So you, Madam Mayor, like just use 50,000 out of our gravel budget for Wilkinson Road for ditching and whatever we're doing over there?
Yeah, exactly. So instead of adding 280,000, so it's 250,000 for gravel and then $30,000 for Wilkinson, could we just add in the $250,000 for gravel and then take this section out and just make Wilkinson a priority? Does that make sense?
So in other words, make your 250,000 work for this road as well as whatever else you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through you, Madam Mayor, so there'll only be $200,000 worth more gravel and we'll be taking 50 out for ditching.
There's, sorry, they're saying Wilkinson Road's 30.
Yeah,
220.
yeah.
So yeah, so 220.
So we'll take it out of here and we know it's in the 250.
So Madam Mayor, we were gonna go back to that amendment. That amendment has not been approved yet.
Okay,
So you have
let's
to
just
wait.
put a little 30 up there, a little circle here.
So we'll come back to 19 as well then.
Yeah.
So I circled the 30 and I starred the 250.
50. Yeah.
Okay,
And over here on the sheet, we're going to put a question mark,
for number 19.
right? Okay. All right, number 20. Oh, sorry, go
Thank
ahead.
you, Madam Mayor. So my question is to Mr. Gould then. Steve, where the road is caving in and collapsing on Wilkinson, that this summer, you tried your best and did your best to try and fix it on Wilkinson where it's narrowed down quite bad. Could this ditching money help with that problem where the road's collapsing?
Through you, Madam Mayor, yeah, it could help if we had to change the culvert. We could put a little longer culvert in. I can try to get a longer culvert. I've talked to conservation. There's a lot of money we'd have to spend and a lot more than $50,000 to do a study to lower that culvert, or that's another issue. But yeah, we could put a longer one in probably and widen the road there when we do the ditching. And
Without conservation, we could put a longer culvert in just as a replacement without having to do anything with conservation.
through you, Madam Mayor, I'll have to check on that.
Yeah,
I think it like for like is what I can do without going to the conservation, but I have to check.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, Steve, because we always have to get permits from them. So it would have to, yeah, so it depends on what they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Through you, Madam Mayor,
yes,
I think we could probably go a longer culvert as long as we didn't lower it or go a bigger size. I think we could probably do that. I don't know for sure. I'd have to ask them, but.
great. Number 20.
Number 20, Councillor Smith is proposing to remove the septic reinspection plan, which would have a net impact of around 89,000.
Okay. Who wants to speak to that? Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith.
Sure. So, I guess when I was going through the budget, I didn't realize how big of an impact the septic reinspection program had on the tax base. I thought it was more user pay than what it actually is.
Did you look at the revenue?
That's net of the revenue. Is
Yeah, that net.
That is
So Councillor Smith initially proposed pulling out 127,000, and then when we looked at it, there was 38,000 revenue in there. So I just wanted to get the true net impact of the budget.
Okay.
So when we did the org review, these are one of the things that I was hoping would be highlighted, that, these are services that we're providing, and I don't know that we necessarily get the value back for what we're paying for them.
All right. Andy?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'd just like to add that, yeah, most of that is wages for a new staff member.
Yeah.
We've been running this program for a number of years, but the enforcement side and keeping track of everything is we can't keep up with it with just two people in the department. So that's where most of that money is going towards.
So so the money coming in was close to offsetting the cost before we add an extra person. Is that close to being true?
Yeah, that's correct, but I've probably got close to 100 outstanding work orders for septic system issues that we don't have time to follow up on.
So Nicole will be doing some of those for you as well?
Possibly if that, the amps goes through, but, yeah, it's a lot of work.
Okay. Okay.
Just a quick
you wanna
comment.
answer that? Okay.
Well, yes, as more specific answer. So it kind of basically went from a net cost of 18,000 to almost 88,000.
Okay.
Thank you,
Go
Madam Mayor.
ahead,
A
Nick.
comment I was gonna say is, since we put out the survey over the septic bylaw, proposed septic bylaw, I've had a lot of feedback that a lot of residents aren't in favor of this program. So I think we need to start being a little careful with it as well.
We have a lot of lake people that are in favor of it. A lot of them. Pardon?
Not sole people paying for it.
No, but they do pay a lot in their taxes. That's what they would tell us. Susan?
Through Madam Mayor, certainly the lake people many of the lake people are in favor of it. And our lakes are important assets. And I know I sound like a tree hugger, but I am the chair of the Septic Reinspection Committee, and I want to get that point across. That it's a really important asset. Andy has been, pardon me, I should say Mr. Dillon, right? Mr. Dillon has been in need of an administrative assistant, and I suspect that person will help in other ways, not just with the septic reinspection program. You also have to remember that we're on this, I'm going to say, I'm going to get it wrong, but this aquifer. So our soil is very, very thin, and any leaching from the septic bed can contaminate the ground and affect public health. So I have to be in favor of this one.
I think it's money well spent. Duncan?
So I've thought a lot about the septic inspection program because I don't personally agree with it, but that's not what I'm hearing from residents, and that's not what I'm hearing from fellow councillors when we develop the strategic plan. Looking at protecting our lakes is very important. One issue I've had all the way along, though, is I don't like how this program is funded by individual users. I think if this program designed to benefit all taxpayers, then all taxpayers should be paying for it, not the individual septic inspections. So whether we decide to go ahead with the program or not, I am in favor of this going against the tax levy and not charging increased user fees to pay for this. So I'm still on the fence about the program, but I think this is the only way we should be paying for it.
Okay. Lynn?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So with this increased person that's going to be joining your department, Mr. Dillon, what percentage of their time will be spent solely on the septic reinspection? Because maybe it's not the full amount here.
Through you, Madam Mayor. I would estimate, I gave Michael some percentages there, but I'm not sure
need an
if
extra second.
he has them, but it basically works out to a full-time employee, whether it be 50% of their time, 25% of mine, 25% of Crystal's. It's a combination of different employees, but it does, the amount of work involved with it definitely justifies a full-time employee.
Yes,
Just add a little bit of context to Councilor McGregor's comment about, spreading across the tax base. I remember there was an MFOA session a long time ago and they talked about that right amount of percentage, right? You can't make everything 100% pay use to recover, and you don't want 100% of the tax base either. And I think it was a 65-35, and there's about 30% that's being reimbursed to the program. So just to add that information in, Madam Mayor.
Okay. All right. So all those in favor of leaving it in?
The amendment in?
No, leave it. Yeah, leave it.
Does it make it hard?
So,
Well,
so right now, Madam Mayor, if I can say, the amendment is to remove the program at the net impact of 89,000. Who wants to remove the program? If we can
Yeah.
ask that question.
sorry. Let me rephrase this.
It's hard.
How many want to remove the program in the $88,000? One? How many want
What,
to?
can I
Oh,
ask one?
sure.
Question for Michael. So whether we remove the program or not, we need the executive assistant. So this money is still going to be in there, just in a different line, correct?
I guess I would look at Mr. Dillon and ask that question. And or council as a whole. That's really not my place to say, I'm gonna think.
Through you, Madam Mayor, if the program was canceled, we could get by without the additional employee.
Oh, Cindy. Cindy, do you have a question?
I don't have a question, but can we put the program on hold for a year to save some money?
Bill?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Did we not already vote for another employee through the org review? And is that not their salary then?
Michael, is that?
Yes.
No, this was someone to help Andy, wasn't it?
Yes,
Building as well as septic.
because it was supposed to, it's a min person for him
Yeah.
instead of a deputy building inspector. It was
Yeah,
with
so-
the min.
So through to Councillor Irwin's point, the employee would be added, it's Councillor Gowdy as well, I guess. The employee would be there, they would be doing different things, and they could probably do more things. They just wouldn't be working on a septic reinspection program if that was canceled or put on hold or whatever.
Sorry, it just goes up. I'll start again. I don't think we should put it on hold again this year because last year it wasn't on hold, but we did what? 300 properties instead of what we wanted to do. Andy?
It was only 100 last year.
100, yes. Yeah, I thought it was a lot less. And normally we do 300 or 360. Okay, so how many people then want to take this out of there? Right? We don't want to leave it in. There was only one that wanted to leave it in. So,
No. Question.
yes,
If we have a full-time staff on septic reinspection, then therefore we wouldn't necessarily need to pay Rito Conservation their fee, but we could continue to charge our fee. Can someone explain to me why you have to both?
Through you, Madam Mayor. The amount of, like, to do 300 inspections, I think they average, or they hope to do about 10 a day with one person, I believe is how they do it, but just depends on the day, how many they can get done. If we were to not use Mississippi Rito, we'd be looking at hiring another staff member just to do the inspections.
Sorry, just to follow up so I understand. So someone, a person who does inspections is capable of doing 10 a day, but if we had a full-time staff, we couldn't do 300 a year?
the full-time staff does the administration stuff here. Starts off by getting the properties set for the inspections, sends them off to the Conservation Authority, and then brings back the reports and puts those in the computer
Okay.
against the properties.
So, sorry, so you're saying an inspection the actual physical inspection can be done today. How long does it take for an inspection from deciding you're going to do one to the time you're done that report?
It's not Andy that does them.
No, but you would have an idea of what goes on, right?
Yeah, so we try and generate the list ideally sooner than later, like early in the year, so that we can give homeowners lots of notice. There's always people that have to reschedule, like there's a lot that goes into the scheduling. You're probably looking at 2 or 3 months for ahead of time for scheduling if you want to meet people on site. And then once the inspection is completed, right now we wait for Mississippi Rito to send us their report at the end of the year. Unless it's if something critical that needs to be looked at right away, they'll send it sooner. just to give you an example, there was 3 failures this year. None of them have been corrected yet. I've got one property owner I can't contact or they won't respond. Another one is,
Do we make that property uninhabitable because of do you put signs on the door or something?
at this point, I'm looking at probably just, it's a gray water issue. I'd probably be looking at just registering an order on title and hopefully another owner would fix the problem. Or otherwise it's going to court, but
So sorry, but this question remains, how many person hours goes into an inspection?
For us or
For anyone, how many person hours goes into the average inspection?
But why does that matter?
Because I want to know if we have a full-time staff dedicated to it, how many inspections could they do a year?
But we don't have staff trained to do it.
No.
That's why we hire Conservation Authority group.
Okay, that's a different answer than the 300. So
Yes.
so it's not an
Okay.
issue of the physically being able to do that many inspections. It's the fact that our staff member we're going to hire
Yeah.
can't do inspections.
And they deal with after the inspections are done. Bill, do you want to speak to that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah. Mr. Dillon's employee is a fault re-inspector, and the enforcement for after Mississippi Valley has found in their inspection not to do, and perhaps even new inspection for new installments, but he's got nothing to do with the re-inspection committee.
All right, so what I'm hearing is we want to keep the reinspection program. So that means that we do not keep this money in here,
So the council amendment is to remove the program.
right?
If we're keeping the program, we're defeating this council amendment.
So we're how many people want to defeat the 88,000? So
Excuse me,
you
Madam Mayor.
don't want to take the 88,000 out of the budget.
Thank you. That's my answer.
That's- Okay, so if you don't take it out, the program lives, right?
Mhm.
How many people want it to continue? Put your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people do not want it to continue? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cindy. So,
Madam Mayor, sorry, I just want to clarify the wording here. The
me
amendment,
too.
the amendment is talking about an additional staff person for the program. So
Let's just talk about the money.
no, but it's important that I'm clear. Like, I don't want to cancel the program. I want to remove that additional staff person. So the vote on the table is not to cancel the program. The vote is on Councillor Smith's amendment, which is to remove that 89,000.
Correct.
Revenue, all the expenses related to septic.
So that in my mind, Madam Mayor, that's what we need to vote on or talk about first is, are we removing the program? Which then means removing the employee, which would help Andy with other things as well.
Yeah, Susan.
Through Madam Mayor. When Sarah Watkins was working with the township, she made a tremendous improvements in working with the planning department and the septic reinspection program. The Services and Organizational Review is recommending, one of the recommendations was that this person be hired. I don't think you can make a decision about the septic reinspection program, whether or not you want to keep it or remove it, until the recommendations from the Services and Organizational Review about how the septic reinspection program will work, until it's gone to the Septic Reinspection Committee and they can provide a recommendation to council. Otherwise, this committee is redundant.
However, we have had the program. We're looking at continuing what we've had. What we're doing in this budget is we are adding an assistant to Andy's portfolio that will work on this septic reinspection as well as building permits, septic stuff. So it's a bit of both. So if you want to take 88,000 out of the budget, what's left in that budget? In that line?
Well, if we're taking 88,000 out, that means clearing out the expenses and all the revenues. So I guess what to keep it simple in my mind, which may not be in everybody else's, I would vote on this amendment to either keep it in or remove the program, because that's what's being proposed, is to remove the program. If council still wish to add that person to help Andy, then I would ask council to give me another council amendment to add a person for Andy.
Okay, so we are voting on doing away with the program
This council amendment is
by cutting this 88,000.
Net.
All right. So,
net. Yep.
net. All right, so we're going to do this again. How many people want to leave the $88,000 cut in the budget of the septic reinspection program? Let me see your hands.
No, don't leave it in. She's
Cutting the program by 88,000, which is what this number does, which means that program is no longer going.
Right, so if I can just maybe help, maybe not, hopefully helps. If we vote to carry this council amendment, we are removing the septic program.
Yes.
If we defeat this council amendment,
Favor the amendment or oppose the amendment?
yeah, if you're in favor of removing the septic program, then vote for carrying this amendment, which will remove it from the budget.
Okay.
There's Mutz. Right.
That's, yeah.
If you vote yes to the 88,000 being in this budget, being taken out of this budget,
There's no problem.
you are canceling the program. So how many people want to do that? Put up your hands. Okay, one person. Two.
Cindy.
Cindy, thank you.
Sorry, Cindy.
you.
All right, so how many people don't want to do that?
staying up.
Cindy, do you have a question or are you voting?
You're on mute.
Sorry, I was voting.
Okay,
Yeah. it should-
all right,
Thank you.
so
It stays in.
it stays in.
Right, so the council amendment of removing it is defeated.
Okay,
Thank you.
so then it's out.
Good discussion. I missed
Duncan.
that.
I still want to leave the program the same as it was in 2025.
That's another discussion.
Okay, so when are we gonna have that? We're gonna have that at the end? That would be in a budget amendment. 'Cause-
Yes, if you want to do another budget amendment.
And that's,
would be
so
at the
that's
end.
what I'd like to do. That's what I thought we were voting on originally. So I'd like to remove any additional funding in the 2026 budget.
We'll talk about that at the end.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, remind me. All right,
Mountain Grove Road.
Mountain Grove Road, transfer from reserve, 700,000.
So yes, Councillor Meeks put this in to work on Mountain Grove Road after 509 Long Lake Road, Mountain Grove Road in brackets, was supposed to be looked at. High traffic from the north going to work. And when number 7 shuts down is the main road for detours and also if the tracks shut down. Sorry, there's a little bit more there. I don't have it expanded enough. Mountain Grove Road will take a number of years to be completed. At least a start would help. Take a drive and think what some portions of the road will be like in 2 or 3 years. And it's 19 kilometers long, sorry.
So, Dan, do you want to speak to this?
Sure, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm just putting it out there because we're not gonna do that amount of road in 1 year. And it was under my impression that after we did 509, that we were gonna have a look at doing
Okay, Bill.
Mountain Grove Road or Long Lake Road. So even if we can get started on it or do something, you're not gonna do it in 1 year. How many years are you gonna, like, how many years do you think, Steve, would take to do that road? You got culverts, everything to look at. And it's already breaking up. So say it takes 4 years, you look at a portion of the road in 4 years, what it's gonna look like.
So you, Madam Mayor, I don't even know if we get the whole road done in 4 years, really, to tell you the truth, because some culverts are big. Some are gonna be very expensive, so you're only gonna be able to do a little bit of a road. I mean, this is another one. I'm for it, but it's a tax increase. So it's up to you guys. I'm bored if you want to do it.
Well, this would come out of reserves, but what would $700,000 do? If
Through
you
you, Madam
started at the beginning of the road?
Highway 7 to McCrimmon Road. So Highway 7 to our hall.
And how many kilometers would that be?
Just getting here. I don't think it's 3 kilometers, but there's a lot of culverts. There's a lot of culverts that need changed and
Because there's a lot of
leaching.
water, eh? Dan?
Also, I see culverts now that already collapsed. There's water backing up on some side of the roads too, is another thing. Why I put that in there. I just think we need to look at Long Lake Road.
Okay,
So you, Madam Mayor, it's 2.6 kilometers from Highway 7 to McCrimmon Road.
so 2.6 kilometer for 700,000.
Somewhere like 6 years or 7, eh?
And Philip, where is it on the road system?
There's a bunch of Long Lake.
Oh, okay. Bill, you had a comment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It was just clarification if it was Mountain Grove Road or included Long Lake Road as well.
Basically, the same.
It's just Mountain Grove.
Same one.
Road.
Okay. So is that what we want to do? That reduces the reserves by 700,000? Can you work it into your work plan for the year?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Yep, I think we can.
Okay. Would that have to be tendered or is that something we do ourselves? Would be tendered.
Through you, Madam Mayor, that'd be tendered.
Bill?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, to Mr. Gould. Would there be any extra funds that maybe they could do Ferguson Road, even if they just strip it down to gravel? I mean, can some of that work be incorporated together?
Through you, Madam Mayor, it probably could be. I guess it all depends on what the price comes in at too, so.
Okay, so we're in agreement to that. Nikki and then Susan.
Can we start like we started the other one and come back at the end to see what the numbers are like, please?
We're all good with
gravel,
that?
If you wouldn't mind. But it is on the road need study. It is the second road identified in the roads need study. So if you want to go back to database decision, it is in the road study as number 2.
All right, we start that one. And we're going to go down to the FOBs. And the suggestion is to take that 10,000 out and put it in back in reserves.
Yeah, so Councillor Meeks is proposing to remove the fob system. It's called all major buildings because when we initially put it on, it was for all the buildings. What we've tried to do again is like the roads, doing the piecework versus the whole road. So that would do 2 buildings and I think it would have a huge operational efficiency in terms of being able to open it, lock it, maybe not have to use a caretaker or whatever to open and lock it, turn the heat up and down like we did in Kennebec Hall for the automation. I think it would have a huge operational savings, but those are my thoughts, Council.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is this similar to the Kennebec Hall where it was planned for last year and looking to do it this year?
Kennebec Hall, I believe, was done this year, Andy. But I also believe this 10,000 was really just for the lock system, or was it for the heating as well?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I did meet with a contractor yesterday at Arden Hall to look at getting that door done, hopefully before the end of the year.
But the question is this one of those projects that we budgeted for last year and it's really just flowing through to 2026?
No, to me, this is a new project. This
And
is
we're
to
just
do
pulling it from
additional
reserve.
buildings. It is pulling from reserves, yes.
So it's not
Yes.
a carryover, it's actually pulling.
It's not a carryover, but to me, I looked at Kennebec Hall as a different project than what we'd be doing in 2026, which would be maybe Oso Hall or
Okay.
the ones that are used the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just put that in there, Madam Mayor, Andy. Like not all halls have Wi-Fi, so it'd be hard to control. But I didn't realize that it only does a couple halls. It doesn't do them all. Excuse me. Doesn't do them all.
I will change the description on that capital project, Councillor Meeks. Thank you.
Oh, we're still wanting to take it out and increase the reserves? Or we want to?
I would leave that to, well, to all of council, I guess, but Councillor Meeks proposed it, so you've asked before if that particular council wanted to remove it or not.
Oh, thank you.
And so how many halls would it do then, Andy? And does it control the heat or does it control the locks?
I haven't got the price yet for Arden, but, yeah, it would probably do 2 buildings, the doors and the thermostats for 5,000 each.
So we do 2.
So which halls would you do then? Obviously Charlotte Lake, probably somebody can run down there, around there all the time, so.
It has Wi-Fi, so it's one that we could do. Arden, I'm not sure if it's gonna get done in 2025, so it might be one that carries over. And, we have other buildings like the fire halls.
I see.
If the power goes out, the system we have now is.
So it's not just the halls, it's fire halls and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this would be 2. Okay, so you're going to withdraw okay, so it's withdrawn. I think we should stop and have a little bathroom break. And there is coffee and tea over here.
Yeah.
And cookies. Because we're always better when we're a little sweeter. Okay, we're going to go back at this. We left off at number 23, I believe. It's just a miscellaneous default.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, so Councillor McGregor was looking at removing $35,000 from that miscellaneous expenses default line, which has been earmarked for a salary review. The comments were it's premature, wait until implementation plan has been completed, and can it be done in-house?
And who can answer that? Can it be done in-house? I doubt it, but Kathy?
For the salary review? I think in the plan was that suggest that we go back in wouldn't be 2026, at some point in 2026 about doing remember having a company come in and do job description, again, like the JQs to see so is that what you're talking about in regards to this for the salary review?
Go ahead, Duncan.
Yeah, so there's two parts. When I asked Michael what that line item was, he said it was budgeted for a salary review in 2026. And so my question would be, in the future, could this not be done in-house by someone? And the second question is, because we haven't really done anything yet with the implementation plan, I think it's premature. I think we wait until we've made a lot of our changes before we do this, because we're going to end up doing it twice.
Yeah, I think this was in Kelly's report. It talked about in coming up into 2026. And we're better to go out to get somebody that has and what they do is they compare other townships as to where the salaries are. And that gives you an idea because of the grid. We're only up, most people are up past, are ready to, they've been stuck in number 5, say, for instance, going 5 for some time. So you can't really you can't have them go any more steps because there's no more steps. So we've been working on that.
Yeah.
So
That's part of.
so that needs to be done in 2026.
Yeah.
Well, I believe, Madam Mayor, that's what the organizational review is recommending. To Councillor McGregor's question, since I've been back here, I think we've done it in-house once, but it's really just a calculation on top of the formula. We're not experts on it. It's not objective as much, I would say, and I think that's why I would suggest going out.
Yeah, because I think the last time we did it was when SHRP did and that's what year it was, but they came out, there was the job evaluation and pay equity, so that we would make sure our pay equity was correct.
Nikki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And that was done not this term, but the previous term, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So back to doing it in-house, we've done a lot of work with our strategic plan and now with the organizational review. So we now know what townships that we are comparable with. So would it be a lot of work to do it in-house, to have the treasurer, somebody, not to add more work? I'm not trying to do that really, and I am, but I'm not, to reach out to those and then just, they could do a spreadsheet for us to tell us where we're comparable to. That's my question.
You want to take it?
Go ahead.
Can it physically be done? Yes. It means taking whatever other work I was going to do if it was me, for example, and putting onto this. But I don't know the pay equity. I could sit there and go, and here's, 80,000 versus 85 or whatever. I could do that and say, and then bring it to council and make a suggestion, but I'm not an expert on that. And that's my concern, is that I don't want to do anything wrong to anybody's.
Also too, we could probably, and it may not be called as expensive, if we get somebody that, like a consultant, that's doing consulting work, who's worked for municipalities, with the HR background that probably know how to do that. It would probably be cheaper than us going out to tender to get a company. Because I think last time it cost us, was it 35,000? About $35,000. I think we could save that by having, somebody just ask, something like Kelly Pender, somebody that's experienced in those kinds of things. I think we can get somebody like that to do it much cheaper.
Well, and we've got 35 here that we're dealing with. Maybe we could reduce this.
Yeah, good.
Duncan?
So that answers kind of the first part of the question, is could it be done in-house? You're saying no, not really. The second part is, because we're right in the midst of the implementation plan for the organization review, my suggestion is we do not complete this work in 2026, and we complete this work in 2027 once we've made our changes, so we're getting a more thorough and accurate chart.
So if I may ask the CEO clerk a question, I believe when we bring new positions on, that there's an analysis done for each position as it comes on. So if we did do the work in 2026, and I'm not saying do it versus don't do it, if we did do that in 2026, the new positions that come on would be equal to what's already been done.
Absolutely. Yes, they would.
So what you're saying then is we could take this 35,000 out.
I'm saying that we could do it or we could take it out. Make it easier. Well, because if we do it in 2026, to Councilor McGregor's point, is that, and I understand, if you're in the middle of something, why would you do it now and you're gonna have to do it again later? But if what's done now and then new positions that come on is similar, there's really indifferent to doing it now or later, in my opinion.
Okay, what do we want to do? Susan, around the corner.
So I have to take into account Kelly Pender's expertise, and he made certain recommendations as to when things would be done. I think he thought that it would be beneficial because we will be bringing people on over the course, so it's better to start off with the review. Just another perspective.
Well, and I think we can't push too much onto 27, which is brand new council as well. Nikki,
Thank you, Member. I like your suggestion of maybe we cut it down. We go with Kathy's suggestion of a consultant rather than tendering it out and seeing if we save it. So maybe cut it half and you do it would a consultant be half the price of tendering it?
how about 20 instead of 35?
So I want to try and deal with issue one, if we can, Madam Mayor, first, in that if Councilor McGregor, who's proposing this council amendment, is okay with reducing it to 20,000 or whatever, then first I'd like to ask that question.
Right.
And if he's not, then I would like to vote on this 35 and then do another council amendment to add 20.
He's the process guy.
No problem. So I'm not in favor. Sitting at the table today, we're contemplating adding $1 million to the budget.
Yeah.
We have to start cutting some stuff, and this is
Okay.
one of the ones I want to cut.
Okay, so then, and that's fine, perfect,
Yep.
Councilor McGregor. So I'd like to vote on this or whatever first and then.
In favor of, oh, sorry, thank you. All those in favor of the 35,000 being cut in the budget? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
Okay. 1, 2,
5.
No, 1, 2.
Oh,
3,
sorry.
4, 5. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So that's carried.
Yep. Madam Mayor, can I ask Councillor Kelsey to hold her hand in front of her face? It's hard when it goes, all I see is your thumb, and I'm not sure if it's a fan puppet or, okay.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, my hand was not up. I was just pointing.
But okay, I still had 1, 2, 3.
Hand in front of the face.
You still had 5.
Yeah.
We had this side of the table.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're
so
welcome.
stays in there. So that number 23
So, sorry,
and in.
Madam Mayor.
It's canceled.
So that motion was to remove 35,000 from the budget. That is carried. So as of right now, we're removing 35,000.
But then we can also have a discussion if you want to put in money for like 20, 17, whatever, 18,000 to do with the, we're going through it with a consultant.
The 35,000
comes out.
stays in the line.
Minus.
Yes, the minus.
Minus
Yes.
35 stays in.
So in my mind, that's in.
Okay.
Yes, that's how you're doing it.
Yeah, that's how she's doing it there.
That's how she's doing it. You're right.
I have the removal carried.
This is not simple. All right, what's next? Social engagement.
Number 24, yeah. So social engagement, Councilor McGregor is proposing to cancel, bang the table subscription. And I put it to social engagement because I know for asset management, we're required to engage the public. And I know it's been used. It's probably not been used as much as it should be. And that's what Councilor McGregor's description is: not utilize cheaper alternatives and does not provide value for money.
It's part of the counties. Go ahead, Duncan.
So I put this amendment. This is something I've tried to cut from the budget for.
We cut everybody else pays.
This is something I've wanted to cut for the budget for a couple of years. It's something that I keep getting told we could use it. It has a lot of potential, but it never actually does. And so when you look at value for taxpayer, I just don't see it with this particular software. We have lots of free options that we've already utilized this year to get to add surveys or application forms. And I think we should continue to use the free options.
And if I may add, Madam Mayor, that it is shared amongst the townships. It was a county RFP. So if we did pull out, our neighbors would be all paying more.
The other thing is too, is we have to remember, we have to have some kind of format because in the service review that Kelly has done, talks about engagement HQ, which is this bang the table. That's exactly the same thing.
Okay, now Susan.
Through Madam Mayor, and thank you to Kathy because the emphasis is on increasing digital usage,
Yeah.
and it is throughout the county. And I don't see Chris here, but when we had a discussion about it, he didn't find it problematic. It may not have been used to its maximum potential, but the plan is that employees will be, or staff will be trained to make better usage of it.
Yes, and I think we can do more to advertise it on our website as a place to go to get information. Michael?
Yeah, with that position, I think that can help that. But my understanding was that there was concern about people having to log in. You don't actually have to log in or create an account. You just have to scroll down and find that. So maybe that piece could be a little more obvious going up, saying, you do not have to log in, just please click the survey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
that's what this-
Lynn and then Duncan?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I feel that if we are going to keep having this as an option here, that it does definitely need to be utilized. It can be used in almost every department, I understand, and very few have been utilizing it yet. So I think that there needs to definitely be a push on how can we use it to benefit from it, because that's not happening enough yet.
So, okay. Duncan?
So just to respond to some of the counselors' comments, so my issue is not with surveys. I think we should have surveys. I think we should have public engagement. My issue is that all of that is accessible for free. So I don't think in our Kelly Pender's comments that he was suggesting that we use this particular piece of software. He was just saying public engagement's important, right? We have to have pickup trucks, but they don't have to be Fords. We have free options.
Okay, Michael?
So to Clerk's point, it was in Kelly Pender's report about using Engagement HQ, which is the same as Bang the Table, but something that was said to me recently by, I'm not sure if his profession is a programmer or whatever, but if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. So I don't know if that helps or hinders that in any way.
Well, and we want to be transparent with what we do, and we want to ask people what they think about it, and this is an option to do it. So I think for $6,000, we might be wise to keep it. Bill?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We're also in the process of getting a new web service. Can we not incorporate our own?
Oh, no.
I mean, we don't know what it's going to be yet either. That's part of the problem.
Nikki?
For clarity thank you, Madam Mayor. For clarity purposes, when we went and did the RFP or whatever it was with the county, does that obligate us because we agreed at that time to go in and share that expense? Does that mean it's obligated and our hands are tied? We have to fulfill that contract?
So around Mayor Councilor Gowdy, I would have to check on the officialness of that, but I know that it was out there and we all agreed to share it.
Yeah,
So I mean, if we were to remove it, I don't know, I'd remove it in 2026. I would, whatever that notice would be, have to check with the county IT.
And that's why we have it, because it would be too expensive for one, but for 4 to 5 to share it. Okay, so how many want to take out the $6,000? How many want to keep it? We're keeping, we're not taking it out.
Okay.
So that's a note, right?
Defeated, yeah.
All right.
So the next motion, number 25, or council amendment, sorry. Councilor McGregor would like to increase the economic development line by $17,000 as economic development is a crucial component to Central Frontennac's sustainability.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Lynn and then Duncan?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to add to what wasn't stated here is it's just putting it back up to the levels that we had it at for 2025. And we've already, we're hoping to do even more next year with the money than we did this year. We're hoping to go to 2 trade shows, as well as continue on signage and beautification throughout the entire township. So we've already got many ideas in the works, and we would just like to be able to execute those.
Okay, Duncan?
Just to further those comments, one of the things that we worked on in 2025 was focusing on projects as a test site of being District 3 or Charlotte Lake, with the intention in 2026 to expand it to all 4 districts. So that's the banners, the signage, the village beautification to all 4 districts. So that's why we need at least the same money that we had in 2025.
Okay. Anyone else? Oh, Michael.
Madam Mayor, just to add context to it, I think the Economic Development Committee has done a lot of good work in the last year with the money, but I have to let council know that the reason it's there is because we had the wayfinding signage and it wasn't removed the 1 year. So I made the comment to bring it back down. So that's why it was brought down to the pre-level of that. But again, they've done a lot of good work with it. So I would fully support putting it back up. Not that I'm a councillor, I just say it.
Okay. Okay, Duncan?
And sorry, the last comment I'll make before you call vote is a no vote is meaning that these projects would not be expanded to the other districts, as well as we would have to pull out of some of our potential projects like the trade shows for 2026.
Okay. So, Philip. Oh, and Susan.
Sorry, I just want to be clear. Is the ask for 10,000 over what was in the original budget that was proposed, or is it 17 on
17.
top of the 75 that was already in there?
It would be the 17 on top of the amount that's already in there. So it would go back up to, I think, 24.5 or something.
Yeah. Okay, Susan?
Through Madam Mayor, and just to add to information about the trade shows, we've already been in discussion with North Frontenac, and so we would be partnering with North Frontenac at the trade shows, and that amount incorporates our share for Central Frontenac. North Frontenac has already approved their ability to go to the trade shows.
Okay. Agreement on the 17,000. Okay, so it stays in. Awesome. Right, moving right along.
Yeah. Carried, yes.
Yes.
So number 26, Councillor McGregor is proposing to create a government relations and revenue opportunist position. Proactive position is necessary, 1-year contract that should have net zero balance on a budget if additional revenue is achieved.
Duncan.
So I spoke a little bit about this the other week, but essentially I feel like this position, if it's someone who's actively seeking revenue, and that does not just mean grants, any source of revenue for the municipality could offset the cost of this position. I'd like to have a 1-year contract, and I think it's very important that we have someone to start working with other levels of government, specifically with Central Frontenac's needs. So I think I said enough the other night, but maybe I say questions.
Hey. Dan.
I really support that because we're missing out on a lot of grants, in my opinion. You see Highway 38 south of us getting done, and that's just one thing that we could be looking at and save us a pile of money.
Nikki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think part of our problem with grants is that we're not putting anything forward with the grants, and South Frontenac had matching funds, not complete matching funds, and that's why they're getting successful. Duncan, my question is to you. Have you seen this position in other townships where it comes out as a net zero revenue, like net cost? Have you researched that, please?
No, this position does not, as Kelly Penderhead told us, this position does not exist in most municipalities across Ontario. This only exists in about 3. I think that it could be looked at as a bad thing. I look at it as a good thing, as giving us a step up from all the other municipalities as we have someone in-house to do it. The reason I specifically said a 1-year contract, I may be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, and maybe this won't work out. And the next council will have to look at it and say, hey, boy, was Duncan wrong. This position did not pay for itself, and be able to remove it. I think it's a pretty cheap way, even if they were to only be 50% successful or 25% successful, and it costs us $50 or $70 or $50 or $25,000. I still think the shot we take, as the reward could be huge for this municipality.
Okay. Nikki?
Thank you. Can I ask one more question? We have our managers here how much time do you spend researching for grants and writing grants, or having somebody else write a grant for you? And just a ballpark, you don't have to
Usually we're notified if there is a grant available to us. As far as filling them out, they are extensive. They can take a lot of time because they'll ask for budgets and so on and so forth. So I could say you could spend easily an 8-hour day just getting it all together to do it right. I'll let you know if it works for me. But yeah.
I guess the one question I have is how many grants out there are we eligible for? Like each department, would there be hundreds of thousands or would there be 20,000s?
Well, see, I wouldn't look at roads. That would be Public Works. But from my, from the fire service, we're just starting to see more grants. We haven't seen any for years, so
Yeah.
we're just starting to see that come out now. But I mean, I can't speak for Public Works, but
I don't see a lot for roads.
Well, there's stuff out there, but it's the time to do it too. So I do it whenever I can, and Michael helps. And
Yeah, I think, Madam Mayor, I think there's more opportunity out there than we are applying for, to Councilor McGregor's and other councils'
Very good.
thoughts on there. I know we looked at that as a countywide initiative at one point, and it wasn't something that the county, I think, wanted to take on, to have one grant person across. But I do think the grant section at least could be valuable, not taking away from the other sections, but the grant position could be valuable, but it is extensive. I don't know how many hours of reporting that we do for different levels of government, the financial information return, OMPF maybe adding reporting requirements here coming up. Yeah, it's extensive, but is it worth it? Sometimes Mike Richardson and I did a lot of them, and he was fairly successful. I was just the typey person; he was the brains. It's a lot of work. It really is, and all the different reporting requirements. But what other choice do we have to not, like, if we don't apply, we can't get it. If we don't do it, the work still needs to be done, and we have to raise taxes or take a loan out or take from reserves. So it could be, but it'd be nice to have measured results after the year or later and see where it's at.
Yeah. Chris?
there is also, after you receive the grants, there's reports you have to do to answer to what you've done with the money. And also insurance companies now are starting to offer grants. We're getting one where I'm looking at one right now for a wildfire master plan. And it's an insurance company that's supporting the grant, and they're actually offering 5,000 for a part-time summer student.
Wow.
So hopefully we get that as well.
Good.
So.
Philip?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to ask Michael, the org review is talking about an asset position as well. Is that a position where you would see they could have potential time to do these grant applications or seek out grant applications as well?
It's a potential, honestly, is my first thought as you're asking that question. I mean, Aaron and I do the bare minimum now to get the assets in. We're not doing the asset management the way it should be done. It's a potential. It's a potential. I'd like to stop there.
Okay.
And if I
Let's
may,
stop there.
I may take the floor and say the one grant reporting I wouldn't mind filling out, Madam Mayor, would be a 1% HSD increase.
Yeah. And the other thing is to get the right person and a contract. You might not get that right person. It's a balance. Dan?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Didn't Kelly highly suggest that we get somebody to write grants for us that would pay for itself, hands down? I'm pretty sure he did.
It's the asset management.
I think it was the asset management person.
Yeah, the asset management
Doing both.
person, I think, would help pay for itself. I hope there'd be time. I'm intrigued by that question.
Just remember 100,000 salary is a plus with all the benefits. So you're probably talking 150.
I would suggest that we don't put that 100,000 in and just leave it sort of with myself and the managers. I think that there's some staff here that may be able to help out a little bit more with some grants, like help do some writing on the amount of work that they're doing now. But I'd like to sort of look at that first before we start putting money in and increasing more, on the budget. Where I think we're not going to be done all this today anyway, that we'd have
Yes,
time
we
to.
are.
I'm
sick of
You'd have to
budgets
extend the
already.
deadline, but that's my suggestion is if you give us an opportunity, let's look at this a little further first.
Okay, Duncan?
So last comment. So a couple things here.
You
So
always say that.
it is a two-part position, right? So I don't see this as being just a grant application person, and that's why I came up with that really cool revenue opportunistic position, because that's only part of the job. The other part is working with other levels of government, right? We are constantly, one of our biggest impacts to our municipality, as demonstrated by our strategic plan, by our roads issue, is outside pressures. So the pressures put on us by the province, the federal government, other agencies. And so having someone liaison and be our voice at those level of government is important. It's also important because every time we talk about a new position or we look at a new program, we look at sharing with some of the municipalities. So offsetting the cost by sharing with North Frontenac or South Frontenac. And so all those conversations need to happen. And we might not actually see that by grant money or some other form, but we'll see it in our budget. So if we have the partnerships. And then when it come over to the revenue side, revenue doesn't just mean grants, right? We've seen to focus on either the tax base or grants for revenue. There's other forms, there's other partnerships with programs. So if you take a renovation at a hall, as we were just debating, like the Oso Hall, for example, revenue doesn't just mean grants. It means reaching out to the community groups and saying, is there an opportunity for partnership here to help pay for this program? And we might be able to bring in $10,000 from one of those groups. So it's a multifaceted position. It's proactive. And I don't think it's something that can be done in-house because with what we've got now, because we're so reactive. So that's my last comment on it.
Okay, that's your last comment. We need to vote. Oh, sorry, Bill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just going through the implementation plan, and it also calls for asset management procurement with a salary at $85,914, which is job rate for 2025. So, I mean, that falls right in line with what we're already going to do.
Yeah, yes.
So you're saying that that's already in the budget to come from the org review,
Well, the asset management person is in there.
right?
And they would be heavily tied in with grants in terms of having all the capital assets there. That's what we're normally
There-
applying for. There's sometimes operating ones.
There's 7 months in this budget,
7
right?
months, yes.
So there is one person already in here that could be doing part of that job. And if we get the right person, if they're good at it, they can do more of that, then we'll hire somebody else for the asset management. I don't know. So what do we want to do with this 100,000? Leave it in or take it out? Okay, so the first vote is as presented to put $100,000 more in the budget for this person.
To clarify the motion and not add a comment,
Okay.
it's a net zero impact on the budget
Net.
because it's a $100,000 position, which includes the recommendation from Kelly Pender, and it's $100,000 in revenue coming in.
But we can't put that revenue in.
I have not recorded that revenue, Councilor McGregor, because I can't count on it.
No,
Right, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know where to put that revenue.
they may spend a year and not get a grant.
Well, okay.
So right now in the budget, just to clarify, I have 100,000, or sorry, in the council amendment, I have 100,000 being added. I have no offsetting revenue, even though you've mentioned that clearly. I get that, but if it's council's wish, I can throw in miscellaneous revenue or something.
We don't know how many bylaw tickets we're going to hand out or other grants we're going to get, but
No.
more in there is revenue.
Right.
So
Fair point.
Yeah. All right, so 100,000 as presented. How many is in favor? That's leaving in 100,000. Yes, yes. Okay, the additional 100,000, okay. Not opposed, or not against. Defeating, yes. Cindy,
Cindy had her hand in front of her face.
did she?
Yes, she does.
So that means it's defeated.
Yeah.
Huh, what number is this? Number 26?
26.
You don't put it in.
Out.
So next
Great.
amendment is maintained through Councilor McGregor, maintain doctor recruitment funding at $3,000. This funding should be utilized annually either for doctor or nurse recruitment.
Can I just speak to that as a chair of the family health team? We don't do recruiting anymore. We did it at one time and there was money spent when we were putting up, going to trade shows, doctor trade shows. We're not doing that anymore. So we really do not need the $3,000. Okay, Duncan.
what happens if the doctor quits or one of the nurses quit halfway through the year?
Right now, it's the doctors that have to be the ones to get new doctors. It's not the family health team. So they are supposed to be looking for doctors as they, and they haven't asked for money, nor should they. Nikki, what's your name?
Yeah, whatever you'd like to call me, I'm used to anything. Duncan, to follow up, like, the county council has dedicated money in the budget and a staff that is about doctor and nurse practitioner recruitment. So, and they are to do the whole county, not just the southern area that are struggling for doctors right now. It's for the whole area, and it is in the budget for this.
And our group meets with them. So I don't think we don't need to spend that money. Okay, how many want to not spend the money? Sure.
Councilor McGregor, could that be used through economic development to promote the health practitioners we have so that their businesses are thriving and they're not going somewhere else?
So you mean
Through
add more
Madam
to
Mayor?
economic development?
Yes.
I think economic development's doing pretty good at 24,000.
There's no shortage of patients for the physicians, and it's a question of whether the physicians want to attract more physicians.
But we
It's-
have more than doctors. We have a dental practice, we have massage therapy, we have, like, there's a number of different health practitioners
There's a lot
in
of
our
private.
communities that are businesses that are supporting our community. Can we support them in some fashion to make sure that people use their services instead of going out of the township? Just a question and a thought.
We have to support all of our businesses in the same way. And that's by keeping taxes down and doing the best we can to bring people to the area who will support their businesses. Nikki.
A question to economic development. When you go to these trade shows and you're promoting Central Frontenac, do you include a health proponent in your presentations? Like, you know, we have a thriving family health team here. We have other or medical practitioners here. We have like the health center up the road. Do you promote that at the trade shows as well?
In brief, we've only gone to one so far, and we're still evolving and deciding what all displays we want to have. Most of what we've done so far is about tourism, because the types of shows that we're going to are outdoors and recreation type trade shows. But point taken, and it's I think I'm on the committee where we're deciding what the booth is going to look like. So I'll bring that to their attention and see what North thinks of it as well, because we could have a section for that.
We have some materials I think we could loan you to.
Yeah.
And the county has some.
Cindy wants to.
Doug, oh, sorry, go ahead, Cindy.
You mean?
I don't have my hand up. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. All right, Duncan.
So I look at everything through the lens of what benefits the residents, or I try to. We're talking about less than the cost of a laptop replacement that we have 5 or 6 of in the budget to support doctor recruitment, which we know our community can't survive without. So that's how important it is to me. That's why I asked to put back in.
Well, unless you're going to do it, nobody else is going to do it. I don't know where we'd give the money to. Right, Susan, who sits on the board as well? Could give it to the county who are doing doctor recruitment, but I don't think they really need our $3,000. So are we leaving $3,000 into the budget? All those in favor of leaving the 3,000 in? Okay, those in favor of not leaving it in? It's out. Okay, 28.
Okay, so the next two amendments, 28 and 29, I'm going to need Councilor McGregor's help on these. He's proposing postage meter. We need the number reduced before the budget in 2026, and postage is the same explanation.
Duncan.
I put these in for a point of discussion. In my opinion, we're spending too much on postage, and we're also budgeting too much for postage when you look at our 3-year averages and the postage meter. So we're spending, when you include, and these aren't exact numbers, the admin portion, the corporate services portion, the fire department portion, we're spending like $40,000 a year in postage. There's got to be ways we can get that number down.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I like to declare that I can't vote on any of this because I work for Canada Post.
Oh, right. Okay.
Conflict, okay?
Yes, we will get a piece of paper for you to sign.
Okay,
So
thank you.
to add a little bit of information, the postage meter, I don't think is something that we can do anything about. It's run through Canada Post. We do get a discount on the postage that we get through the postage meter versus going up and getting stamps and licking them and whatnot. I do agree that we could do something better in terms of getting people to sign up for online, getting their emails and whatnot, and that. My concern with that is honestly switching softwares. How do I say this without getting myself in trouble? I don't want to encourage residents to go. I'd like to encourage them after we switch softwares. But I can appreciate Councilor McGregor's point of it's a lot for postage and postage keeps going up.
But we send out a lot of tax bills.
We send out a lot of tax bills. We send out a
many
lot of
thousand.
reminders. And to Councilor McGregor's point as well, I think we have a budget of 27 and we've spent an average of 21 or whatever. So there is a buffer in there. Because I don't know, I think planning and my understanding is getting better at digitizing everything and not using postage as much. But to Councilor McGregor's point again, the fire department could be sending stuff out. Like there's different things that are going to influence that. It's not a big buffer, but it is a little bit of a buffer to address. Maybe we decide to send arrears notices out 1 or 2 extra months and bam, it's gone.
Philip.
So just in regards to the meter itself, have we done a cost benefit analysis on, you know, the discount that they provide us? Does that pay for the meter? Because we did that before and we're like, well, we're still paying way more for the meter than what it was worth. We might as well go buy the stamps from Canada Post.
Well, I have not done that. As a quick answer to your question, Councillor Smith through Madam Mayor. When you factor in staff time to lick and stick those stamps, I don't think it would be beneficial.
Anymore, they're sticky.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
Okay, well, there you go. To even just put it on, I mean, it runs through those $6,000, $6,500 bills. You have to go buy them. I mean, I could do that at some point. I can put it on my list, but it's, I'm sorry, Councillor Smith, I'm going to say it's not the biggest priority on my list. But it is something that we should always be doing it and looking at that.
Nikki and then Duncan.
When do you perceive the software change, and then can we make it a priority that we are going to promote paperless on everything?
Through my Mayor, Councillor Gowdy, first question, I can't see it being done before 2026. OECM put out an RFP for financial software, but I don't know that those ones would meet our demand or our requirements as easily as other ones that are out there. So I think we'll have to end up going up for an RFP, which I have to talk to the Frontenac treasurers and the county IT. The earliest I think would be 2027. It seems to take, they're talking 14, 18 months, which is insane in my opinion. But then yes, I would like to, I know software is not the all be all, but I am very pro software in terms of making things easier because people want to be able to book a haul and pay for it while they're sitting in their PJs on the couch. It's just quicker, it's easier. I mean, there's still management of it in terms of email addresses or whatever, but it's self-serve. Like it's, yeah, I'm definitely for it. And we like the engagement HQ software. We need to use it more. But yeah, it would probably be if we're switching in 2027, and more likely would be 2028 before we would unfortunately progress that. And that's where I wanted to get off the pot and do it this year, but yeah, by all means.
So my recommendation through Madam Mayor, maybe we keep the postage as it is, but in the next year or two, before we get our new software decided on and implemented, we start advertising more, encouraging people, we want to change to paperless. I know lots of organizations, they do kind of a mandatory thing and you have to opt out of it. They force you into it and then you have to opt out of it. That sort of, so maybe just more news for our people. I also think of our demographics. Lots of people don't want the email.
Or don't have email.
Right. We have a pretty high population that does not use those electronic versions. So in being fair with both sides, we can, do some news about it and have people start thinking about it in the meantime between now and our new software. But I think right at this point, forcing people to go that way isn't probably going to work to our benefit if we don't do it gently.
Yeah. The other thing is too, with bylaw, as well as certainly with the Planning Act, some of those places have it dictated into the Planning Act. You have to notify people, and it does talk about mail, and it does talk about, setting them up post them on their property and doing those things. And then there's registered mail that the bylaw officer uses. And those are things that you have to under the prescription. So I don't know if we'd want to get rid of the postage meter to do all that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Not entirely, but I mean, as Michael says, I can pay my tax bill in my pajamas. Why can't I receive it the same way?
So
But we'll move to that. I think for now, let's leave postage as it is. Done.
So my proposition would be if we remove $5,500 from that budget, that will remove 20% of that budget and still keep us above the 3-year average. So we're notifying the staff that we'd like to reduce, and we're still staying above our 3-year average.
Yeah.
So
Postage just went up to what, $1.10?
no, it's
Cindy, how much is?
Postage is $1.44 for a regular letter, with tax comes to $1.63.
$1.63?
Yes.
Holy suffering. Duncan, that 5,500 is going to be sucked up real easy.
So
if we start effective today with just a few measures to reduce the bills, right? Over the end of the year, we should be more than able to offset that increased inflation and reduce it even further.
The bills go out in how many weeks? January 15th?
first week of January.
First week of January.
And I think that, to your point, Councillor McGregor, we have that option now. We have the option for people to receive their bills paperlessly. It's written on our inserts how to sign up for it. It's, people are opting not to at this point. So unless we really do some sort of news flash encouraging them, people are making their choice as it is.
So and the other factor that comes into my decision is, again, people are going to have to set up one account now, and then they're going to have to switch to another account in a year or two, which still could be beneficial for them. And there's going to be a process.
Okay, so do we want to cut 5,500 out of the postage? Yes or no? Question first.
Do we know if there's any restrictions to charging someone for mailing a tax bill?
Oh, that's insult to injury.
I know, but I mean, it was like.
To Madam Mayor, to Councillor Smith's point, there are, I believe, municipalities who charge a $35 welcome fee for everything.
Quebec had the welcome tax, yes.
Yeah, I definitely cringe at that as well, like Madam Mayor, I think just did, but it is. It's
your budget. It'll be
possibilities.
Yeah, not my budget.
And to add to that comment, I don't know what the rules are, whether municipalities have different rules than other places, but I mean, you will see surcharges on different bills that say if you are having paperless, you are charged this much. I think of vouchers, so I don't know if that is an option for us, to be honest. It's come to my mind that if you do not choose electronic, you can have paperless, but you're going to pay for those notices that are going to be going out to you. I don't know.
We get people writing letters about interest on overdue tax bills of $5. So I don't know. Anyway, we've got to get going here because we're almost at our 3 hours.
So Council Amendment 28, postage meter, it was just for discussion, so there's really nothing there. So I'm just going to make it official, I'm just going to say defeated / discussed.
Okay. That's 29 and 30.
29, well, that was 28. 29 is the postage itself. So it was mentioned maybe whether we reduce it 5,500 or not, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so let's vote on that.
So I will put in negative 5,500 if you're okay with putting that in there. Okay, thank you.
Who wants, first of all, to take out 5,500? 3. How many don't want to take it out? 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to take it. You want to take it? You want to take it, the 55 out? Okay, so the first option is to take the 55 out of this list.
Oh, wait, I thought I was saying taking 55.
So do you want to reduce the postage by $5,500?
Yeah.
No.
No.
So I would say, sorry, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Yes, it's for that or not.
You
What's
can't
the
vote.
answer?
The vote is carried, I believe.
4-4.
Do that, is it 4-4?
Yeah. Cindy
Oh,
did that.
right. So a tie
Cindy,
vote
yeah.
is a no vote, right?
I believe.
So no,
It is.
so that's out. Out
Okay.
is no.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, this is a long day.
All right,
God.
number 30, Councillor McGregor is proposing to transfer 100,000 to the dedicated fire vehicle reserve to prevent large future expenses, fail-safe money for other fire department projects in 2025.
Mr. Duncan.
Me again.
Yes, again.
So the math here is a little bit complicated, and I'm not even sure if it works out other than on an Excel spreadsheet. But my thought was that we need to be thinking about fire vehicles down the road as a long-term strategy for the next council or the council after. That's number one. Number two is the chief has identified a few priority capital projects he would like to get completed that he has asked for every year and we've not been able to satisfy, like the communications tower, and now he's asking for the SCBA equipment. So the $100,000 would go into reserves or plan to go in reserves. But if the grants do not come through for the projects he's trying to do, we would already be putting $100,000 in reserves. So if the grants didn't come through and we still wanted to do them this year, we could. So it's a fail safe. And when you add up all the money we're already putting into the fire department this year, minus the dry hydrant, which we'll talk about later, the money we're putting in for the projects and the money we're transferring to reserves, at the end of this year, if this plan's successful, we'll be putting an additional $20,000 to $110,000 in fire reserves for future vehicle purchases. If we put this $100,000 in there.
How much is in fire reserves now?
I'll need a minute, Madam Mayor.
Nikki?
Well, Michael looks,
Oh. How did I do that? Oh, yes, right, because we're doing that.
while Michael is looking, I kind of agree with Councillor McGregor, because that went back to the suggestion I made about having a special levy on the tax bill of $5 or $10 that goes into a dedicated fire reserve for vehicles. So that down the road, and other municipalities do it, the one to the south has a special dedicated levy amount that's on every tax bill. And if we're sending out 6,000 or 6,500 tax bills and you put $10 on each of those tax bills, and say it, and the surveys keep showing again that fire services is one of the top rated assets that the residents want to support, then you're never going to, when we become in a year where we have to purchase two emergency vehicles because something has happened, you kind of have a bit of a buffer built in there. So 100,000 seems like a lot, but really in the long run, it's not a lot when you have to start, we have to start looking at our reserves and down the road of our asset management, which keeps getting pushed further and further away.
And a line, it may be a lot.
Yeah. Because I think years ago that they used to, the municipalities, when they raised money for, putting for a fire truck and all that, it was put right into the tax bill. It was, as a member on the mill rates back then, and it was always put in there.
So to answer your question, Madam Mayor, the fire reserve currently has $150,000.
That's all.
And to make note, council approved in 2025 pulling 400 and some or whatever from the reserves for the fire truck that we could not afford to put back into reserves now. So adding $100,000, as much as I can appreciate from an asset management perspective, it adds to the tax levy and it's sitting there. There's that balance. If I can get to the reserve policy this year, then maybe we can have a more dedicated conversation on that. I don't know how to do that 1% levy on there right now, and I can appreciate that it's there, but it's 6 of this, half dozen of that, whether it's on the levy or whether it's a 1% infrastructure. The only advantage I can see of that is really, okay, the public would know then that this really is going to that. And I would almost apply the same logic to the HST increase, that goes specifically for capital and it gets reported on. So, but that probably will never come.
Another discussion. Okay, so how many people want to put 100,000 in reserves for fire?
Can I put a star beside it and we come back at the end when we have the final number at the end?
I think that's a good idea. That may be one that we'd like to do, but maybe we can't do, or we shouldn't do. 4,000 in tools.
No, it's no fire ban notifications.
Yes,
Fire ban notifications.
yes, number 31 is removing funding for the burn ban notices. Other free options exist. Facebook, I believe, Voyant, Who's Responding, and reoccurring news ad. It's removing $4,000 is what it's proposing.
Who proposed this?
Councilor McGregor, sorry.
Okay, do I speak to it?
Michael, first question, or Kathy, is the money back in the budget again this year for a reoccurring newspaper ad?
Oh.
I don't believe we touched, to Councilor McGregor through Madam Mayor, I don't believe we touched the advertising lines, which is where I believe that would go. So
So I
I
just
think
want to make
everything's
sure,
still there.
I just want to make sure that was factual. So
Yeah.
between the reoccurring newspaper ad, the website, the Facebook, the Voyant, and the Who's Responding, do you think that covers our basis for burn ban notifications? Or how else would we advertise that other than those free options?
Through Madam Mayor to Councilor McGregor. So just so you're aware, and you are aware, obviously, that when everybody applies for a burn permit, it goes through their phone, and when we have a burn ban, the burn ban goes to their phone, right? So that's an $1,800 fee that we have to pay when we do that.
Per month?
No, just the one time,
Per
right?
year?
So, no, every time we do it,
Every
Oh.
time you do it.
right?
Okay.
So given this past season that we had, I would probably put a burn ban on starting in April. And it would probably run all summer unless we had a really wet summer. But to answer your question about Voyant, once we get more people on Voyant, sure, I could see that we could do that. But it's still, everybody's still relying on their phone, I think, for the burn ban piece. It would take some time for some education. I mean, we could try it. We could cut that down to $2,000. And if we have to do another one, then it's an unforeseen cost. It's up to you.
Okay, Philip and then Nikki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is new in the budget this year. Where were those expenses captured last year?
Probably in operating.
I didn't think it was a new one, Councillor.
No, it's not. So with the fees from the burn permits, we would put that towards.
Oh, right.
that
Offset
fee.
it.
Yeah.
Apologies, Madam Mayor. It was in 2025, but there was no expenditure. So it looked like a new
Right,
expense.
fair.
Okay, so the 4,000 is staying in? Oh, sorry, Nikki.
So Voyant isn't on this line. Voyant is on another line because there's an annual cost for Voyant.
Yes. Yeah, it's operating, yeah.
Okay.
Duncan.
So just to the other contracted services, including Who's Responding and the app for burn permits, is recorded under a different line item. This is a separate line item than Who's Responding and which we spent quite a bit of in last year, but they're two different line items. The $4,000 is something we didn't touch at all in 2025.
Okay, I'd have to look at that.
Do you know the answer to that?
There is, to Councillor Smith's point, there is zero expenditures on that line. Doesn't mean it didn't go to another line.
Right.
And that would take time to look into.
So just, Michael, sorry to affect your chart here, but it looks to me like in 2023 and 2024, you had it stored under fire ban notifications. And then in 2025, you switched it to other contracted services because we didn't have any expenditures on the other line item in 2023 and 2024. And then all of a sudden it jumped to.
I think I
ahead.
know where it went. It's in the fire prevention and the advertising. That's where I went.
Okay, which makes,
Because we had money there for that.
okay.
Yeah.
So that 4,000 will stay? Okay, so that's in.
That means in.
Everybody's in agreement with that? Okay,
It's in.
that's 32,
33, 31.
That was 31.
31.
So on to 32, Councillor McGregor's proposing to remove unused budget line tools for 3,000. And if I may speak to this, it wasn't there in 2025. It's a new one for the current facilities manager to buy tools to work on all of our facilities. So that's why looks like it wasn't used.
Instead
it
of
wasn't
using
there.
his own.
Yeah.
Yes, which is still happening, I'm sure.
Yes. Okay.
Is that different than the line item under facilities coordinator? Because this one's under Central Frontenac Recreation, and there's another line item for materials that's new in facilities coordinator.
We renamed it, Michael, to have it the same everywhere.
Okay, so I'm not following on what's the first? Councillor McGregor, what's the first line? Like I know where it is in recreation.
Okay, just let me find it. Under facilities coordinator, it's miscellaneous materials, tools, something, something.
Okay, so that'd be
And it's
under
new.
040. 0440, so under facilities, 0446. I believe, but I'm not seeing any tools under facilities. That's 71866.
Eat my cookie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Councilor McGregor. I'm not seeing it under, like, I'm looking under 0446, which is facilities, and I'm looking for that 71866, which is tools.
If it's for tools, great. I'm no issue. If it's clerical error, I'll send you an email. So
Okay.
we won't tie anybody else's time.
All
with
right,
this.
thank you.
But it is tools for Bill to do his job because now he's using his own.
Yes, that's what this line is intent, or that's what our intention was for that line, sorry. So then we're leaving that in, so then this amendment would be defeated then.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Take it out.
yeah, so then on number 33, and I had this up, but of course now I've moved, Councilor McGregor's looking for a review of the other grants direct groups, which I'll get back to here. So we've already removed 10,000 for the hospital, so that would have been part of that number while I'm getting there. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm in 2025. Okay, so in the 2026 budget, it is a total of $50,800. We have 1,000 for the Santa Claus parade, 2,500 for the Parham Fair. I may have the name wrong here, but Northern Rural Youth Program, which is the Frontenac Community Services, is 17,300. We have 10,000 for the Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance, 1,000 for the Railway Heritage Society. There's sometimes when I think it's industrial or commercial properties can apply for a charity rebate. There's $200 in here for the Circle Square Ranch. There's $300 for a Courageous K9 that we've supported in the past. There was 10,000 for the hospital, or is, but as part of that 50,800, so that's been removed. Food bank, there was a motion a while back for $2,000 per year. I did move, Frontenac Visitors Guide is here for 1,500, and that's what we've done with the Frontenac News, so that's always been our portion. I moved it from economic development over to here, which maybe is a little bit more appropriate. And then we have, Councillor Irwin mentioned yesterday, we do have 5,000 in here for the railway caboose. I believe some of that money is coming out of this year's budget for the caboose, but they, at a presentation to council, they also requested 3,000 for a mural project. So that makes up that 50,800.
So if I could just clarify, the 5,000 for the caboose, that's coming out of this year's 2025 economic development budget.
So, I mean, there's still 5 in there. Like I said, we can either pull 5 out and not give money for the mural project, or we could just pull 2 out and leave 3. But the proposal here is to just review it.
Caboose that's coming, right?
Right, that's 5,000.
Yeah, so the 5,000 that's being given now is for that new caboose coming. Again, they had requested 3,000 for a mural project, so I whatever council's wishes are.
Okay. So what do you want to do with do you want to do those separately, Michael, or just as a package?
I
Why
wasn't.
did you bring
no, no.
it forward?
No, I wasn't suggesting we do anything. I was just wondering why it went from 36 to the $15,000 increase. And he said it's because of the doctors and the mural project. I didn't want to do anything with it.
Okay.
I just want to know why it went up.
So it's good as it is?
Good
You
question.
don't have to, because there's nothing on there
So
to
it's,
vote on.
oh, okay.
There's
So
nothing
it's
in there.
okay.
Nothing in there.
And then is that the last one? No.
Yep.
No,
Oh, no,
no, one sec.
we have no money in it.
Hinchinbrook Sando.
So new on that is number 34.
Sorry.
Just a second.
Yep.
Just wait.
Can we talk about the $3,000 for the mural?
Sure.
Just if we're already giving them 5,000 for the caboose, 3,000 for a
Different
mural.
caboose. There's two
Well,
cabooses.
I understand that, but I mean, that's $8,000 we're giving that group.
Yes.
And we already pay for garbage pickup and other.
So to clarify, Councillor Smith, they requested 8, we have 5 in the budget. So
I thought it was 5 and 3s.
You said.
no,
3,000.
well, so they've requested at the council meeting, I believe they requested 5 and 3, but in this line where Councillor McGregor won the review, we only have $5,000 going towards them.
And that's coming from economic development.
5,000 is coming from economic development for the caboose in 2025. In terms of discussing the 2026 budget, we have 5,000 in there, but if you take that into account, there's that line should maybe be 3, not
So
5.
municipal tax dollars is paying for $10,000 of the caboose.
8, if we give them a $3,000 grant, they'd be paying for $8,000 total. So this is where it's going to get messier. Where economic development is giving them 5 in 2025, we have 5 in the 2026 budget. So if those two things stayed as is, we would be paying them 10,000, but they're already getting 5. So I'm not going to pay them 5 again. Upon council's approval, I would pay them 3. So in a sense, we have 2,000 extra in that line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm convinced 5 is a happy number.
And
Well, 5,000 is in 2025. 3,000 would be
Not
in
for-
2026.
so I guess to me, the question is, do we want to give them 3,000 in 2026 or
No.
nothing?
I would suggest no, but
You want to vote on it? Okay, how many want to?
Your mic, Madam Mayor?
We're
So
3,000, they can spend it as they wish, right?
yes, and so just technical, we still have 5,000 in the budget. So I would say either vote on reducing the 2026 budget by 5,000 or by 2,000, if that helps clarify. And whatever council wants.
Okay, so you're proposing 5.
So may
Reduce.
it's Councillor McGregor's amendment. Are you okay with putting in 5,000 reduction there? Thank you.
So that means we're giving 3.
No, right now the amendment on the table has been modified to reducing the 2026 budget by $5,000.
Because they've given them 5 in 2025.
Right.
And this would be an additional 5 or 3. And they said.
So right now we're voting on reducing the budget by 5,000. If anybody wanted to pay them or give them money for the mural, I would say do another council amendment to approve adding 3,000 to the budget.
Now, don't complicate it.
I'm just trying to go 1, 2,
So in other words, the 50,000 is going to be
40,800 right now.
Okay, so we're reducing the 50,000 by $5,000. Where we
So-
give it,
We have 50,800 in there right now. We've already reduced the hospital 10, so we're at 40,800. So if we reduced 5, we'd be going down to 35,800.
okay,
Whatever council wishes.
so that's what we're doing? 35,800?
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor? There, that's
Thank you.
done.
We need to extend.
We need to have a motion here because we are going 3 minutes to our 3-hour session. Whew. Okay, we have a motion moved by Philip Smith, seconded by Susan Irwin. The council extends the duration of the special meeting of council held December the 4th, 2025 beyond the regular 3-hour limit and that the meeting be extended for 1 additional hour. So keep your comments concise. All those in favor? Carried. No smoke break, Bill.
She's powering you through.
All right, yeah, let's wrap her up.
All right.
Talk fast, Michael.
Amendment number 34 rather. I added the mayor's name on this because speaking with the public works manager, the Godfrey Small Salt Dome will not be completed by the end of the year. So I've added 165,000 to the sand dome and 165,000 coming from reserves, which council had already approved. But you had approved if there was any savings in other projects, we would reduce that money to transfer from reserves, which anything that's been saved on the capital projects will go into reserves at the end of 2025 to the working fund, really. So ends up being a wash. So
we're good with that.
I'm hoping so.
Okay. Next.
Next one there was a accident recently and we already have a result just as of 5 o'clock is last night that the insurance will reimburse us. So there's adding a pickup truck for 47,445, which is the settlement amount for the truck and the plow. which means that the public works manager would have to look for a used vehicle to finish off the last 4 years or 5 years of the truck's life that was purchased 10 years ago or 5 years ago to have a 10-year life. So we kind of need our roads plowed.
Nikki?
Oh, I'm sorry. My question was to you anyways. So the insurance gave us 47 for whatever. What's the difference from a brand new truck and plow? Because if it's not a horrible lot, it's going to fix the asset management part that you're starting brand new with a brand new asset rather than buying a used older asset.
Through you, Madam Mayor, just a guess, I would say it'd be at least double that amount.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a truck itself is probably 75 to 85,000 right now.
Why do people drive?
I don't know, like we get a $10,000 discount, but I don't know what it would be.
Well, where's that company that gave you the deal on the $56,000 trucks last year?
They were only half tons. I can buy them cheap.
Oh, this wasn't a half ton.
So
To you, Madam Mayor, this was one of our plow pickups that
Which is-
3/4 ton, and it wrecked the plow on the front of it. It smashed the hood, it smashed the box. The guy that hit him, he admitted fault, so it wasn't our guy though.
Right. Okay. So much goes up money. All right. Now, what do we need to go back to?
well, I believe number 11 is the first one that I wrote down. Let me just type here, sorry.
Oh, the 250,000. That was yours.
It's gravel.
It was your gravel,
I
Nikki.
know it's my gravel. I'm like paying the gravel. What's our number before we go back and add in all the extras that we were talking about? Are we sitting still at 5.5 or are we at a different number?
No, we were at 8. With this.
I heard that number.
Gravel's number 11.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. We didn't look at the Olden Hall renovations.
I believe that's another one.
Gravel's
There's a few different ones to go back to.
Gravel's 11. 13.
I said 11, I thought so. I don't know. Can't remember now.
I think that must be
I don't-
noticed. Okay.
Okay. So we talked about this one. We said that it could really be 280. I've got 30,000 written beside it.
Yeah, put the ditching into that.
That's right. We're putting the ditching into the gravel. And Steve, you said that 250 would be reasonable to do some work on a road.
Through you, Madam Mayor, yeah, my numbers were off earlier. I just looked it up on break and it was 16 kilometers for 160,000, not 9.
Okay, so 16. Okay, so is the 280 stays in? That's the 30 ditching is added to that. Duncan?
My question to the table is, what are we cutting to make up for the 280,000?
Well,
This is the
Let's-
discussion.
let's say if we say yes to that, we're going to then get Michael to put all these together and show us where we're at.
Okay.
And then we in reality have to start cutting.
So can we, sorry, Myra, can Michael put everything in that we said we talked about and then look at the number and then we cut from that?
Sure. Yeah.
Please and thank you.
So right now with the adjustment, and again, this is all very quickly, and I'd rather take time and go through it slowly. We've reduced the budget by $7,500.
My God.
That's not including the ones that we have to go back to and discuss. So the gravel, the fire reserve, I think there's another one that comes to mind. That's without discussing those.
Well, I'm done for the day. Go back to 5.5 where I was. Wow, we cannot have an 8% increase. That's all there is to it. So let's go back to our wish list.
Well, pretty much, yes, Councillor Irwin. We've cut 7,500 from, if we went with the initial amendment list, everything there, I think it was adding 300,000, which is going to be about 3%. So we're at 8.5. We're probably at like 8.4 right now. If we added all those in, sorry, Councillor McGregor.
And just to be clear, that's not including what we were talking about, taking a reserve, which is almost $1 million. In addition today.
Yeah, so
'Cause they were marked zeros.
Yeah, because the Mountain Grove Road was 700,000, which we'd pull from reserves, which really means our reserves are going down, but there's no impact on the tax levy.
For that.
So, yeah, it's really just our reserves going down.
So we're all very quiet.
Well, gravel's gone.
I honestly, yeah. We have to cut some big ones if we're going to make this work. So we're prepared to cut the gravel. So if we cut 280, can we cut the 32?
Oh, I'm only 250.
You want the ditching? Okay. We're 250s now 30.
You're just taking
I
250.
believe the 30 was on another amendment. If
It
we
was
can
just, yeah.
go through that. So
Yeah,
Yeah, because you add 30 to the
yeah, it
250.
was added.
No,
It was ditching
Yeah,
added
so-
to gravel.
So that was 19. So if we go back to 2026-11, that's cutting 250,000 from the gravel, which right now I'm going to say is defeated. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay. So then number 2612 was transfer from reserves 45,000. That was the dry hydrant that we were going to revisit, I think, along with the sort of the 100,000, keeping that in mind. So I guess
that was reserves though, right?
it's still coming from reserves, yes, but if the project was cut, which then that would
But it
leave
was-
45,000. No, it was not
In the
finalized.
levy line. The 200,
Which yeah, we're on the dry hydrant right now.
Chief, was the fill station not hopefully going to be a wash because you had applied for grants for it?
Yeah, so we have 60,000 transfer from reserves and 80,000 for a grant from that
the
Council County.
grant's only 80.
So can I put carried on the dry hydrant to leave it in the budget?
Sure.
Okay, so that's number 12, and then number 19, 14, I had that one as defeated. That's number 14 is the Godfrey Salt Dome repayment. No, it's okay. I just make sure that's why it's
No,
team effort.
withdrawn.
Withdrawn, right, in terms of that we're not adding 200,000 to the budget.
Right.
Okay, yep, that's what I just wanted to clarify. That's all good. Then number 19 was the $30,000 for ditching, which we said we would revisit. That would be adding $30,000 to the budget.
It was,
And that maybe I can change, Councillor Smith was the one who proposed this, so I can change the GL account name from ditching to gravel, if that's okay?
well, no, let's leave it as it is. It was ditching. We just put it up there to discuss. Philip, you got
It
your
was-
finger up.
Thank you. But it was specifically for the Wilkinson Road.
Yes,
So that, I still want to see that some work happen over there.
okay. So you want to leave the 30 in? Okay,
Sorry, I have a question for Councillor Smith. What's more important? What is a higher priority, sorry? The Eagle Lake Road or Wilkinson Road?
and you can't say both.
I'm not saying cut them at this point. I'm just saying which is a higher priority.
Can I lay claim to one and he lays?
There,
claim
that
to
sounds like a
the other?
good.
That's not fair.
I
So
can
they're
agree.
they're different things, right? I mean, the Wilkinson Road, it's about the residents over there and the services that they get or don't get. The Eagle Lake Road is a mess to the top of the hill. The railway track was just done. And we have a children's camp in there that travels in and out all summer long. So those are the two reasons why I picked those two roads.
It's only 30,000. It's not a lot of money.
And I think when the residents can see a little bit of work being done, that helps a lot. So just
I think the big
2 cents.
your staff person to do grants because it's already in the budget for asset management. Oh, sorry. I
It was already cut.
was it?
Mhm. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, everyone's fine.
I didn't have a line through it.
Yeah.
I have another 100,000 down here.
So before we jump, if we can, on number 19 for ditchings in Wilkinson Road, is that carried to add to the budget or?
That's to add.
Okay, just want to make sure, thank you. And then 21, I think, is the next one I wrote down, which is the Mountain Grove Road we
Reserve.
paused on.
700,000.
So that essentially is just,
It's coming from reserve.
it is. So that's essentially what we're doing. If this is approved, is we're reducing the reserves by 700,000.
Yeah.
Again, I do think that we'll have a surplus. It may or may not cover that. That's the chance that we're going to take and give the Olden residents something as well.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, did you not say though that the surplus was gonna cover the salt dome? Cause it can't cover both.
No,
Well,
we're
maybe.
taking it out of the reserve for the salt dome.
Yeah, the salt dome is being pulled from reserves right now. The surplus, you can apply it to one or the other, but you can't pick both. In a sense, like if you're thinking of it.
Philip,
Madam Mayor, can I ask the treasurer if our happy number is 4 million in reserves, where do we kind of end up in reserves with the ins and outs and?
we don't know that yet.
It's kind of a loaded question because there's a lot going on before the end of the year. I don't know
understand.
if certain trucks are coming or whatever. I think my estimate in there that I said was 4.7 after all was said and done. So this 700,000 for Mountain Grove Road would take us down to 4. I hope that the reserve will take us somewhere back up closer to that estimated number. But I just don't know at this point, Councillor. I really wish I had a more concrete answer.
I really wish we were doing this later in the year than now so that we'd have some numbers. This is, I always said, you can't really do a budget until you know where you've ended off in the year,
yeah.
but I said that I don't make the rules. Dan,
I'm sorry, I didn't, if I missed it or not, but I did do an amendment on the Mountain Grove Hall. Sorry to bring this up, but
it's
it
someplace.
was the lack of stuff that was in the initial tender. We didn't talk about it, but there's not much left to do. The biggest thing is the split heat pump system to control. In the summertime, there's enough humidity in that hall in the basement that you could slip on the floor and fall. And the humidity upstairs, the hardwood floor comes up 3 inches in the middle. And it's just a matter of doing that, putting the split heat pump system in.
Do we have a price? Like that's probably what we're waiting on is a price.
It's more of a safety issue, like, you know,
But just, you don't need to sell us on it, but we need a price so we can put it in here.
right. And
But
the other
you
things
don't
are
have a
little,
price.
other things are little with, if we leave the vestibule and do the other door, hey, Andy. It's a matter of hardware and closing the gap in the end wall where, cold air is coming in. Like it's a 2020 by hole right in the middle of the gable end coming in the hall.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But Dan, we need an estimate so we can put it in the budget. We know that it needs to be done, but I guess,
my feeling is it should have been in with the tender that we had in the 2025 budget.
right,
We tendered it, Andy kept it down to keep it within the 200,000, but it was pushed to 2026 and we're now in 2026.
but we don't have a number.
No, that's right.
Okay, so we can't do anything in this budget unless we have a number. And again, reserves are always there for
Yeah.
emergencies.
Yeah, so through Madam Mayor, I apologize if I missed putting that amendment in. There was a lot of stuff there that I felt was involved maybe in the 275, Mr. Councilor Meeks. I don't know all the work that's involved there, so I may have thought that was in there. But we can in terms of that, we can always add a capital amendment and whatever the price we think is. But we're jumping around amendments here and I'd like a result on Mountain Grove Road if we can.
I realize that, but the 275 was basically the step, Andy, that we applied for a grant, so there was nothing left for the split heat pump system.
So where are we?
Well, I'm still on Mountain Grove Road. in
What would
terms
you like
of-
to do on Mountain Grove Road? Do you want to turn
Well,
right, turn left?
I think I'm comfortable.
Straight through.
Watch the corners.
I think I'm comfortable enough as long as council's aware that the reserves may go below that 4 million for a time. And if I bring a reserve policy during 2026, we can say, okay, we've gone below the treasurer's recommended minimum, but we have a plan to bring it back up. And I'm very happy with going from a 1.5 pull last year to, even if we did pull more, we're still going in the right direction. So
And sometimes there's things that just have to get done, and it's got to come from the reserves. It's like having a bank account and your roof's leaking and you let her leak because you don't want to take the money out.
Right.
Nikki?
I have no problem with that, but are we committing the next council to something we're not allowed to do?
In terms of which way, Councillor Cowdy, sorry, Madam
You
Mayor.
got it there.
Of refurbishing the reserves?
No, I think council passed policies throughout the term and the new council can say, no, I don't, that's silly. You guys shouldn't have passed that. I want to revisit that and we bring in and discuss. So no, I don't think in that regard, no.
Okay,
So Mountain Grove Road is
Is in.
carried. Okay.
Just
Duncan?
to be clear, Mountain Grove Road / Long Lake Road, and I don't want to focus, but it is one section.
Yes,
I'm not just saying budget for Mount Grove Road. Do whatever section's the worst.
do whatever 700,000 can
Yeah,
do.
so not just Mount Grove Road, but that Long Lake Road / Mount Grove Road, not just Mount Grove Road.
Yeah, and so Long Lake, and I don't know where it stops, Councilor McGregor, but it's Long Lake, Mountain Grove Road.
Long Lake from right at Mountain Grove.
From the shops at the village, from the sharp corner.
Yeah. All is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's long like the other place.
So is the worst?
Let's
Yeah,
change that.
anyway,
We got the-
whatever is the worst.
There you go.
So I've changed this to Long Lake Road / Mountain Grove Road, worst section. Or sections or whatever. Okay, so that's carried then. That was 21. 30 is the next number I have unless somebody had something
He's
else.
doing it 'cause I'm pooped.
Yeah, we had started because we wanted to.
So 30 is the 100,000 to fire reserve.
And so I'll reduce that right off the bat for the amendment to 50,000. And the only reason I think it should be 50,000 as opposed to nothing is if you don't get the communication grant and you still want to do that project, our shortfall is 50,000. So we're putting in 120 now. The project's 170. You're asking for $50,000 from a grant. If we don't get it, it has to come from somewhere and we might as well plan for it.
It can come from reserves as well.
He doesn't have a lot left in reserve though.
It doesn't, yeah, this is not even touching the vehicle reserve. This is making sure we just don't dive into it even farther.
So you're saying change the 100,000 to 50?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You okay with that?
Yes, I'm just waiting for council's approval or denial.
Council's okay with that? 50,000? All right.
All right, so that's adding.
Can we look at in the future? A dedicated, can somebody get information on how to do a dedicated levy? And so we know what we're working with for fire apparatus vehicles.
At the county, they do a percentage every year.
Yeah.
That goes in.
Break out the policing while you're at it, so they know what they're paying for that.
We have a legal opinion from a long time ago that that's not advisable. Yeah, I want to go back and double check the opinion, Councilor Gowdy, through Madam Mayor, but it is identified on the different pieces of information that we put out. I'll say that.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's keep going on the numbers. Where are we, Michael?
Because he's wrong.
I didn't have any other ones written down that we had to go back to, so unless I'm missing something.
Okay, so tell us where we're at as far as percentage that the budget is.
Can I have 5 minutes
Sure you can.
or more?
We can have 5. If he gets 5, we get 5.
Yeah.
Oh, Jody's getting us. We are ready.
We need
Okay.
half an hour.
Mr. Treasurer, what have you got to tell us?
Well, the first thing I'd like to tell you is that we did talk about when we reduced the salary review 35,000 out, we talked about putting 20,000 in. So we did not go back and do that. So including that $20,000, we were going to do it in-house with whoever.
Right. Okay.
Or not in-house, sorry, but with lower consultant.
Right.
The net adjustment to the levy would be $55,000 or basically 0.5%. So we'd be at about the 6% levy increase. So depending if council's come for that, or if you want to drop it another 110-ish.
Well, sorry, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead.
What would the overall rate increase be, including the county portion and all the other, the education portion? What is a taxpayer looking at as an increase?
Quickly, through Madam Mayor to Councillor Gowdy, I don't have that answer exactly. It's one of the other things I couldn't get to today was put it in the final assessment. I believe the county went up by 4%.
Yes.
I have no information on the education one. 1 sec.
I would like us to look at the list that's up there now. And is there anything, any couple of things that we could live without, or we could fund some other way? Duncan?
Sorry, Michael, you have your head in your computer, but
Yep,
Michael
go ahead.
has the $900,000 paid back at $200,000 a year. We could.
Oh, right. We took
so
that out, did we not?
No, it's still.
We took that out, was my understanding. If I
Oh, we're
go
not
back,
paying
but
back at all.
Right now, we're not paying back. Councillor
Okay.
Gowdy,
Taking it
through
out of
Madam Mayor.
reserves. Dan?
Yep.
Also Hall has 20,000, but didn't you mention a grant, Andy? Maybe for 25 or?
Yeah.
But we won't know that yet.
No, we wouldn't know probably for 6 months.
Okay.
So revenue against that?
The
1,000?
20,000 for Oso Hall is coming from reserves. So that's the quote unquote revenue.
Oh, it is zero?
Net levy.
Yeah.
But could we wait until we see if we get that amount and then put it all towards the hall?
We can do whatever council wants. We've already voted to keep it in, but
It's zero. It's coming from.
Oh, okay,
reserves.
okay.
It's not being
Um,
levied.
Not that.
if I may. Which,
Isn't that what Michael just said, though?
No, 'cause it's sitting.
Minus 20. The levy.
Oh, okay.
it does and it shouldn't.
It-
And on my 55,000 that I gave you, it's not there at all.
Okay.
To
What
Councillor
is-
Gowdy's question, again, approximately with not having the exact assessment figures in there, it'd be about $62 for every 100,000 in assessment. So the average home is still an impact 167,000. That'd be $104 for the year.
Duncan?
In the budget, we have $15,000 for computer replacement again this year. I didn't mention anything initially, but it's still in there, $15,000.
That's the count.
We can put any council amendments that are in that council wants to. It is part of the county agreement that the township signed with them to replace it at a certain schedule. I think it's I thought it was every 3 years. I guess it's every 4. My understanding is the computers get used after that, but then are they still good or not? I think that's kind of the debate. And then it's a matter of looking back at that agreement to see what requirements we have.
I have a suggestion. Why don't we take 110,000 out of reserves to bring it down to a 5% or 5-something%? And at the end of the year, when we finally get our number from the accountants of what our surplus hopefully will be big, to put it right back into the reserves and then see where we're at.
So right now, Madam Mayor, the surplus deficit policy automatically goes into or out of reserve. So that would happen regardless. I'm not opposed to, if we get resolution of council to say, bring it down to X percentage, we can certainly do that.
Philip?
Are we still at a net increase in the reserves or probably not because of the road?
Well, give me 30 seconds.
I don't disagree. I just
Yeah.
like it to be a positive for the
Let's
reserve.
see what the.
No, so we were at 300,000 going in. Even just Mountain Grove Road is going to take us 400,000 out. But hopefully the surplus would
Covers
offset that or some of it to make us about where we were at, just as a quicker answer.
Oh, Councillor Irwin.
What was the amount of our tax increase last year?
I think it was 5 something. Michael?
He's looking at it.
So through Madam Mayor, Councillor Irwin, it was a 5.7% levy increase.
And I just,
Playing devil's advocate for a moment, 6% is very close to 5.7%. We're almost at the same.
it is, but mine was 5.1.
Gotcha. I'm just trying to, yeah.
It's just that times are so hard for people and the cost of everything, like food for people. It's if we can use some reserves and still have a reasonable amount in there to bring the levy down as much as we can, I think that would be a good thing to do.
If I can just add to that, Councillor Irwin and I had a discussion about the levels, and I obviously said $4 million already. It's on record. Could we go lower? We could. And talking to the public works manager, if a bridge went, it could be $3 to $5 million. And that's where if we don't borrow money, at least from ourselves, and we're pulling less from reserves, I feel more comfortable to be in a position if something did happen in emergency, like the Causeway or Arden Bridge comes to mind. I think we could deal with it. We'd simply take out a loan and go with it. I really like this budget. I feel like we're more living within our means, and that's important.
Okay. So does that mean you agree with taking 110,000 out of reserves?
I
to
do.
Bring this down?
We're now married.
Do I get? I do. I don't know about you. Are folks in favor of that?
Well, that's what I would want a clear direction on is what do you want me to bring the budget down to?
110. Oh, no.
Well, I can bring it down 100. I would, if I could, I would rather get the percentage, say whatever it takes to bring it down to 5%. It's probably going to be about that 110. It just could be 110.500 or something.
So 5? As close to 5 as you could get. 5149.
Okay.
How's that?
4.9 sounds real good.
4.9 does sound really good.
I have a professional recommendation. It doesn't mean that happens.
This is,
Expect 8.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think we could easily, right? Policing was a big chunk of that, and maybe we'll get a relief on that a bit. I don't know.
Let's hope. All right. Remember, we can only go 1 more hour. So we got
4, because we're at 4:30.
27 minutes to go. That's right. I don't know what I have to do next, but I think we're in a good shape.
Well, ultimately, I feel like I have direction from all of council. Sorry, if Councilor McGregor wants to speak.
Michael, can you look up, just out of curiosity, the tax rate increase for 2023, 2024, and 2025? Because
his computer.
Yeah, I think you got that right.
Yeah, so 2024 was a 6% levy increase. 2023 was a 2.9% levy increase.
2023?
Did I say? Yeah, 2023.
What happened in 2023? That it was so little.
I don't know. And I mean, obviously, I think I've said to council before, I normally go by the consumer price index, which right now is 1.7%. If we add a percentage or two for asset management, then we're at least at 3.5. But that CPI takes into account everything. Municipalities don't deal with everything. There really should be a municipal price index, and I've heard of it. A good friend apparently did it somewhere, and again, another thing to follow up on and say, okay, what is the real municipal price index, what we have, and what are our costs going up? And it's probably around, I think we're in that ballpark right now.
Michael, can you repeat the numbers again?
Yes, 2023 was a 2.9% levy increase.
Yep.
2024 was a 6% even increase.
Yep.
And 2025 was go back up here, 5.7% levy increase.
5.7%.
Correct.
So
yeah.
What's the average?
No, I'm just looking like in this term of council. So in the past 3 years, potentially 4, we've already seen a 15% tax increase. And now we're talking about an additional 5, which is a 20% increase in taxes in 4 years. And so
There
there's,
were municipalities that were 16% one year.
yeah, so
We-
I just, I feel it's warranted to really dive down and get as much out of this budget as possible and start looking at the programs that we all agreed to keep, right? Because at the time we thought it's important, but when you look at the overall picture in the last 4 years, it's just not worth it to taxpayers to go up 20%.
But look at how the costs have gone up. Asphalt, doing anything on the roads, a culvert that we used to pay a couple $100 for now is thousands of dollars. It's just, it's the kind of work we're in.
Only gonna say this once because I say it again every year. Our taxpayers' wages have not gone up 20% in 4 years, so therefore our taxes can't go up.
Neither
That
have
much.
ours.
Exactly.
Bill,
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not the mathematician, but our taxes have not gone up 20%. They've gone up 5% on the first year's budget. Then they've gone up 5% on the next 2 years' budget. But they haven't really gone up 20% because we're not taxing all year's budgets.
If your taxes are 20% higher than they were 4 years ago. So whatever you paid 4 years ago, if we pass this budget, you'll be paying 20% more than that.
well, find a way to make it, can we find a way to make it a zero budget? I doubt it. Not if you want to get some things done. And that's how you have to deal with it. You can do it, but it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost you an increase in taxes. If you don't want to provide the same service, then you cut the service and it cuts the costs, but that's not what the people want. They want the service, and to do the service is going to cost them extra money because everything else has gone up. So I think we're almost at an end. Michael, we're at a spot where we know what's in and what's out.
So again, if I have council consensus that we're to reach that 4.9% levy increase, then I can make that happen with the difference pulling from reserves. And I can do that hopefully tomorrow. And then you, Madam Mayor, have 5 days to veto any of those council amendments, plus or minus. And my thinking at that point is I would send an email out to all of council and say the mayor has vetoed nothing, or the mayor has vetoed these amendments. Give council time to think about it and meet again on the 16th, I think at 9 o'clock, and go through those vetoes if they are applicable.
And my intention is if we can make this work that's up before us, where we've all voted on it, that I probably won't be vetoing anything. Because I want this to be not just the mayor's budget, but our budget. We're all responsible to the taxpayer. I'd like to get back my 30 some hours I spent on this budget, but that's not going to happen. So I think that we've had a good day and maybe shortened the time doing this by having me do so much more. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Susan.
Through Madam Mayor, just a clarification, we talked about 4.9, 5.1. Did we settle on 4.9 or are we comfortable with 5?
We said close to 5, whatever 110,000 brings us,
Have a look and see.
right?
Yes. 5 or I don't know. Sorry. That sounds bad, but it doesn't bother me. Whatever percentage council wants us to get to, I will make sure we get to.
10.
Yes. What does 110,000 do? That's 1%.
I don't even think right now. Let me go to this other spreadsheet.
I'm going home for a drink. For 2.
That's 2026.
Yeah.
So just adding to the 591 that we had, the 55 over here, and we would have to drop 108,309 to get to 5%, I believe. This is their,
Yeah, he's gonna go with 5.
Back where I started.
Yes, to get to, yeah, 108,309 to get to 5%.
You could take that over.
That's where,
115.
another 10,000. So 118,309.
Do it. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Out of reserves.
So I want every department head in the 2026 budget. I want every department head in the 2026 budget to be very frugal and save your money and use things right to the bitter end before you buy new. And save us another couple percents. Because next year's budget, I'm not going to be here to do it, but somebody will, and it won't be any easier. So I want to thank all of the people who contributed to this budget, all the department heads that I negotiated with to make them give up things and change things around, but we did a good job. And thank you. And the staff that supported them. Duncan.
Echo that. Could you put that last direction to a vote, please? Just that last little bit of direction
The direction
that
of
you just gave Michael.
118,000.
118,309 or so.
We need to do a resolution.
Okay.
Yep, let me
Okay.
let me type it in here.
Mayor's amendment.
Yeah.
Yes, let me get to the right spot. 35,
go ahead.
36, 37. So December.
So what's the amount? 118?
309.
309. 118, 309.
Yeah.
Michael's putting it in the.
Duncan's gonna vote no.
Reduce budget
Oh, that's the meeting.
through
So she's votes her.
reserves to 4.9%. So that's gonna be a, yep.
No,
What do you want to do it at? Vote?
no, that's true.
It is amended.
Thank God we didn't.
Because I said it for days.
I had 4 in my calendar.
So,
So we have a motion.
well, we have a council amendment 2026-37 through Mayor Francis Smith to reduce the budget through reserves to 4.9%. I'm just gonna add net levy increase.
By. Are we saying how we did that?
Well, reduce budget through reserves
Okay,
is what I
sorry,
was,
missed that.
where I was applying that.
That,
And the voting, I believe Jody, deputy clerk's gonna take care of it. You want me to put it down here at the bottom?
Should put the person.
Cause it was really,
And which.
okay, all right.
This motion.
so okay. So all those in favor?
So-
Opposed?
Whoa,
Well, just a sec.
sorry.
One opposed.
Okay, so I can put everybody
Carried.
else's.
Carried.
What was Cindy's vote? Sorry, was she? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
We saw you, Cindy. No,
No.
Oh, I thought it was, sorry.
No.
No.
We just need a minute to retake all of the amendments and put them in the final resolution, so we need about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to get your final resolution.
Could we not just wing it? I could wing it by saying number 1, 2.
Because all these are different too, that some of them you took in, some we took out.
Amendments.
Wait, are you following your
One
thing
to
here?
No. Better get your, there.
We did that one, didn't we?
No, I don't
I
think.
like that one.
Yeah, that's.
1
confirm
to
we didn't do this one.
34.
Didn't do this one.
I didn't do 34.
It's.
Oh my.
I still think we should have done the resolution.
All I need is to put the numbers in, so if council all agrees that what Michael's draft is fine, I can put the numbers in after this.
Okay, so I have a motion.
Get your.
I'm moved by Cindy Kelsey, seconded by Dan Meeks. Whereas the mayor submitted the proposed budget on November the 20th, 2025 for the 26th fiscal year in accordance with O-Reg 530/22 Strong Mayor's Power Budget. And whereas council is permitted within the revised council amendment period of 15 days ending December the 4th, 2025, to pass resolutions amending the mayor's proposed budget. Now therefore be it resolved that council hereby amend the mayor's proposed 2026 budget as follows. And it's all the amendments that we did. And that these amendments be submitted to the mayor in accordance with the revised mayoral veto period of 5 days. And further, that upon the expiry of the mayoral veto period on December the 9th, and subject to any mayoral veto or council override process under Reg 530/22, the 2026 budget as revised by council shall be deemed adopted in accordance with the regulation. Discussion?
Recorded vote, please.
Recorded vote. All those in favor?
Recorded. It's recorded.
Okay, right.
You're gonna.
Philip,
Yes. Sorry, yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Duncan,
No.
Susan,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
and Fran. Yes. It is carried. Job well done, folks.
Michael has a question.
Michael has a question.
Comment. Just echoing what the mayor said about everybody's time is valuable. I appreciate it. There's a lot of good thoughts and comments that come through, and together we're achieving a better result. But I really have to, wow, 4 months earlier than last year. If there's no vetoes, that's something to celebrate.
Still going.
It is. It's the holiday season.
Yes,
knows what they get their first tax bill.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Philip?
I just would ask Michael that during the next process that we asked for a lot of information after you give us the package, the detailed, the 3-year average. Those are things maybe to consider for the next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Through my mayor, Councillor Smith, that 3-year average is already on the report that I normally spit out, and that's why I was making the comment that I am paying attention. And I mean, there's things that make your life easier, make my life easier too. And yeah, if there's ever anything that you guys have recommendations, thoughts, I mean, I'll always try and take it in. There's still only 24 hours in a day is what it boils down to.
No, it might have
Yeah.
saved some back and forth, right? If we had.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, my door is always open in that regard, budget wise or not. Please come in. We can walk through anything.
Well,
It's
and
my
the other
job.
thing is, this is a brand new process, so by all means, if
We
we,
all are.
what we need to make it work well, let's do it, because the more that you have, the better. All right. We've got lots of time left. We've got 10 minutes. But we do have a motion to adjourn, and that is moved by Philip Smith, seconded by Lynn Clakus, that bylaw 2025-52, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the special council meeting held December the 4th, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed this 4th day of December 2025. And further, this meeting be adjourned until December the 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for a regular council meeting, said meeting to be held at the council chambers right here. All those in favor? Carried. And it is 4:19. Thank you all so much. That was a long session, but we did a good job, I think.
Michael said we're 4